I feel just like my old math book from high school. Why did math book look sad during the test? Because it had too many problems. But hey, I have you, and together we can solve any question, even this one. You're presented with unusually looking shapes. Shapes have numbers inside. The middle number in the first shape is 17. Numbers in a circle are 4, 7, and 3. And numbers inside the large circle are 10, 2, and 5. In the second shape, the middle number is 16. The numbers in the small circle are 3, 4, and 1. And the numbers inside the large circle are 12, 4, and 3. Third circle looks a little bit more challenging, just a little, because two numbers are missing. But the numbers in the small circle are 5, 7, and 2, and there are two numbers inside the large circles, 6 and 3. And just like I said, two numbers are missing, and you need to calculate and select them out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 14 and 21. Choice B, 16 and 23. Choice C, 18 and 25. And last but not least, choice D, 20 and 27. You feel like you stumbled upon a tough one? Well, you're not alone, but remember, nothing is too challenging for you. You can do anything. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready? Let's move forward and discover the solution together. If you look closely, you can easily recognize the pattern. In fact, outside numbers form clockwise addition expression with the result at 8 o'clock. And inside numbers form multiplication expression with the result at 2 o'clock. And middle number is the sum of results of both calculations for inside and outside numbers. Let's look at the example. If you look closely at the numbers in small circles, 3, 4, and 7, you can easily see that 3 plus 4 equals 7. Let's look at the numbers inside of the larger circle. 5 multiplied by 2 equals 10. You need to move counterclockwise here. 7 and 10 are results of the calculations. 10 plus 7 equals 17, which represents the middle number. Make sure you verify the pattern in the middle shape, but I am going to switch to the third shape, which has two numbers missing. 2 plus 5 equals 7. These are the calculations in small circles. 6 multiplied by 3 equals 18. These are the calculations inside the large circle. And 7 plus 18 equals 25. So the correct answer here is choice C, numbers 18 and 25. You would have to agree that when you're conquering this question, you're wavering a tapestry of triumph. Your knowledge and skills are the threads that create a beautiful picture of achievement. You're presented with 3 expressions, the third expression missing the result. The first expression is 23 multiplied by 32 equals 32. Second expression is 25 multiplied by 52 equals 50. And then the third expression is 27 multiplied by 72 equals, and then comes the missing number, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 73. Choice B, 74. Choice C, 75. And last but not least, choice D, 76. Do you think it's a tricky question? Fear not, you're in a good company on this quest. Whether you're a seasoned problem solver or just starting out, I have confidence in your abilities. Pause for a moment, channel your inner creativity, and let's conquer this challenge side by side. Your solution is just around the corner. Are you prepared with your solution? I am curious to compare the notes. Let's move forward and share our answers. As you might have guessed, we are not dealing with traditional math expressions here. You need to think out of the box to solve it. Instead of using traditional math, you need to use different rules. The first number doesn't change, but you need to replace the multiplication sign with the plus sign. And in the second number, take the first digit into the power of the second digit. Let's look at the example. The first expression is 23 multiplied by 32. To calculate it correctly, you need to take 23 plus 3 in the power of 2, which would be equal 23 plus 9, and the result would be 32. Let's look at the second expression. 25 plus 5 in the power of 2 equals 25 plus 25 and equals 50. Let's do the math for the missing number. 27 plus 7 in power of 2 equals 27 plus 49 and equals 76. So the correct answer here is choice D, 76. When you look at this question, you have to realize that when you answer it, it would feel like adding a shining star into the constellation of your success. So keep shining bright. You're presented with octagon. It has numbers inside. There are 7 numbers, and the 8th number is missing. The numbers are 48, 76, 59, 98, 12, 13, 14, and then comes the missing number, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 15. Choice B, 16. Choice C, 17. Choice D, 18. I hope you noticed there is a pattern here. Look at 12, 13, 14, or maybe not. You think it's a tricky question? Fear not. You're in a good company on this quest. Whether you're a seasonal problem solver or just starting out, I have confidence in your abilities. Pause for a moment, channel your inner creativity, and let's conquer this challenge side by side. Your solution is just around the corner. Are you prepared with your solution? I am curious to compare notes, so let's move forward and share our answers. To answer this question, you need to look closely to determine the pattern. And the pattern here is that starting at 8 o'clock, numbers on the opposite side of the octagon are sums of digits of the numbers from the opposite side. Let's look at the example. You see the number 48 at 8 o'clock? 4 plus 8 equals 12, and that's exactly the number on the opposite side. Let's keep looking. 76 converts into 7 plus 6 and equals 13. 59 converts to 5 plus 9 and equals 14. And then the missing number can be calculated as 9 plus 8 and equals 17. So the correct answer here is choice C, 17. With this question, it's pretty clear that explaining data analytics to your grandma is like decoding a complex algorithm with a punchline. The interpretation might be fuzzy, but the laughter is always in the regression. You're presented with 4 words, and you need to determine the one that is misspelled. The words are choice A, concatenation, choice B, normalization, choice C, aggregation, and last but not least, choice D, duplication. Feel that you stumbled upon a tough task? Well, it's not one of those your grandma questions. I can tell you this, it's a serious data analytics business, but you are not alone in this journey. Whether you're a problem-solving veteran or newcomer, I believe in your capabilities. Take a moment to reflect, tap into your creativity, and let's tackle this challenge together. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready with your answer? Let's move forward so we can sync up the solutions. To be able to best answer this question, let's understand the meaning of each word. Concatenation stands for merging or combining 2 or more things, such as datasets or strings, into a single entity. Normalization is adjusting and scaling data to a standard format or range for consistent analysis. Aggregation is summarizing or combining data to obtain overall insights or totals. And last but not least, duplication is creating identical copies of data or records within a dataset. I am pretty sure you figured it by now. The misspelled word is choice C, aggregation. The correct spelling is A-G-G, 2 G's here in this word, R-E-G-A-T-I-O-N. You would have to agree that solving this particular problem is like baking a cake. It requires the right ingredients, a bit of precision, and the end result is pretty sweet. I think that looking at each test question this way would be like looking at baking a piece of mosaic of your knowledge, contributing to the bigger picture of your abilities. In this question, you're presented with the set of gears, and you need to determine the direction of the last gear. Your choices for answers are choice A, CW, choice B, CCW, choice C, no movement, and last but not least, choice D, depends on X. Feeling challenged by this question? I totally understand. Remember though, that you are not navigating this path alone. Whether you're a problem-solving expert or a newcomer, I have full faith in your capabilities. Take a moment to gather your thoughts, tap into your imaginative side, and let's triumph over this challenge together. Your solution is almost ready and is definitely within reach. Are you ready with your solution? I hope you are. So let's move forward and compare our versions of the answer. Together, we will unravel the complexities of this assessment test question. I'll ask you for a favor though, and specifically to share your thought process in comments. Your insights might hold the key for all of us to learn and improve. To solve this question, we need to identify which gear is the input, which one is connected to the power source, and which one is the output gear, the final gear that performs the desired task. In the next step, we need to identify the direction of rotation for each gear. Gears can rotate clockwise. This is where abbreviation CW comes from, or counterclockwise. This is what CCW stands for. Let's solve this challenge by following the transfer of rotation from one gear to another. Our first input gear is rotating in clockwise direction. As you might be well aware, when rotation is transferred to another gear, it will be rotated in the opposite direction, which would be counterclockwise. Let's follow the directions for each gear. Input 1 is clockwise, then counterclockwise, clockwise again, counterclockwise again, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, and the output gear is rotating in clockwise direction. Let me show you an alternative way how you can solve it faster. For example, if the number of gears in between input and output is odd, the last gear will rotate in the same direction as input gear. On the other hand, if the number of gears is even, the last gear will rotate in the opposite direction from the first gear. Let's look at the example. Let's look at the odd number of gears. The simplest odd number is 1. The rotations transferred from input clockwise to the next gear counterclockwise, and then to the output, which would be clockwise again. On the other hand, if there is an even number of gears in between input and output, and the smallest even number is 2, you see how rotation converges from input clockwise to the opposite to input counterclockwise at the output gear. With this in mind, let's solve this challenge alternative way. Let's count number of gears in between input and output. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gears. And since there are 7 gears in between input and output gears, which is odd number, the direction of output gear will be the same as the direction of the input gear. So the correct answer here is choice A, CW, clockwise. This particular practice question is waiting for your individual touch to get solved, and I have full confidence that you can do it. You're presented with the equation. This equation is not mathematically correct, but you need to find and move one matchstick to fix this equation. The current equation is 1 plus 2 equals 7. Remember, just one matchstick, and I know you can do it. Crack this challenge on your own, then share your solution in comments. I'm looking forward to discussing your answer and providing some feedback. Thanks for getting involved, and good luck with this intriguing challenge. Without a doubt, solving this problem is as tricky as trying to organize a chaos of rubber ducks in a bathtub. It's a quirky situation, but finding order is a real victory. I wonder though if this question is secretly evaluating our skills to bring order to a seemingly chaotic environment. We are entering the world of 4 squares, which have chaotically organized shapes inside. We're dealing with hollow circle, triangle, and smiley face. 4 squares have shapes in place. You need to determine the value of the 5th square, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. If your mind feels chaotic and a little bit disorganized, you are not alone. I feel exactly the same way. But that's okay. Whether you're a seasoned solver or a casual questions explorer, I have full faith in your problem-solving abilities. Give it the time it deserves, think out of the box, and watch the pieces fall into place. I have full confidence that you've got what it takes. Are you ready with your solution? Or at least excited to bring order into chaotic environment? Let's tackle this puzzle together and explore the complexities and how to solve them. And don't forget to share your thoughts, ideas, and brilliance in comments. Your solution might be just the breakthrough we need. As you might have guessed, to solve this challenge, you need to identify the pattern. In fact, there are 3 patterns present in this problem. Pattern number 1 is that smiley face in the middle of the square alternates the backgrounds. Pattern number 2 is that hollow circle moves alternative directions with the incremental step for each subsequent move. And pattern number 3 is that triangle moves clockwise with double incremental steps. Let's look at the smiley face first, because that's the easiest pattern. We see that in the shape 1, smiley shape is dark gray, then it becomes white, then it's dark gray again, and in the shape 4, it's white again. So in shape 5, we can predict that it's going to be dark gray again. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us much because all choices A, B, C, and D, they have smiley face in a dark gray color. Let's look at the hollow circle. Hollow circle moves one step from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock position with increment +1. In the next square, it moves 2 steps counterclockwise from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock with increment +2. Then it moves 3 steps clockwise from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock with increment +3. So we can predict that hollow shape in shape 5 will move 4 steps counterclockwise from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock with the increment +4. It helped us narrow down the answer choices, but we still have choices A, C, and D that still match this pattern. So to solve this mystery and bring order into this disorderly situation, we need to look at the triangle. Triangle moves clockwise with the double increment. It's only positioned in the corners, and the increments are +1, where triangle moves from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The next increment is +2, where triangle moves from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Then +4, where triangle in fact stays back at 11 o'clock, because +4 means the full circle. And the next one would be +8. This is the final shape 5, where triangle will also be in the same spot. Based on this, we can conclude the correct answer is choice A. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. One has to acknowledge that you need to think of this question as a puzzle pieces in the grand masterpiece of your skills. The more of these questions you solve on your own, the clearer and more vibrant the picture of success becomes. You're presented with series of shapes. Each square has smiley faces inside. There are 5 squares and the middle square is missing. You need to select the answer for the missing square out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, B, C, and D. You might be thinking, and I totally agree with you, that this is a tricky question. And it is. But I want you to remember, you are not navigating this path alone. I'm here to help as well as other subscribers on this channel. Whether you're a problem-solving expert or a newcomer, I have faith in your capabilities. Take a moment to gather your thoughts, tap into your imaginative side, and let's triumph over this challenge together. Your solution almost ready and is definitely within reach. Are you ready with your solution? I am eager to see it, so let's proceed and compare the answers. As you might have noticed, there are 2 patterns here. The first pattern is easiest to detect. The number of smiley faces is increasing with each shape. So shape 3 should have 5 objects inside, and the reason is because shape 1 has 3, shape 2 has 4, then 5, 6, and 7 in shape 5. Well, it helps us a little bit because it eliminates choice B, but we still have choices A, C, and D we need to sort through to make sure we can find the right answer. Well, we do it by finding the second pattern. And the second pattern is that shapes fill the corners first, and then starting at 12 o'clock, they fill up the missing spaces. Let's look at the example. As you can see, in shape 3, the missing smiley face would be at 7 o'clock. Then in shape 4, the new shape shows up at 12 o'clock. Then the next one in shape 5 would be at 3 o'clock. And then if we want to continue the pattern, the following shape, if there would be a shape 6, the smiley face would be at 6 o'clock, which means that the new smiley face will show up at 7 o'clock in shape 3, and which also means that the correct answer here is choice C. You can't argue that you need to approach this problem like a detective solving a mystery. Each correct answer is a clue, and you're on your way for cracking this case of your brilliance. You're presented with 3 diamonds. Each diamond has numbers and letter inside. If we look across all 3 diamonds, At 9 o'clock, we have numbers 1, 2, and 3. If we look at 12 o'clock, we have numbers 2, 3, and 4. At 3 o'clock, we have numbers 3, 4, and 5. And at 6 o'clock, there are letters X, E, and then comes the missing letter. I assume it's letter. What do you think? What's interesting here is that if you also look across each diamond, you see the pattern clockwise. In the first diamond, the pattern is 1, 2, 3, and then comes the letter X. In the second diamond, there might be a pattern 2, 3, and 4, and then comes the letter E. And then in the third diamond, the numbers are 3, 4, and 5, and then comes missing something. Well, I'll correct myself. I think missing something is a letter, because we have 4 possible choices for the answer. Choice A, letter B. Choice B, letter C. Choice C, letter D. And then last but not least, choice D, letter E. Well, I totally agree with you that this is a tricky question. Remember though, you're not navigating this path alone, and I'm here to help, as well as other subscribers on this channel. Take a moment to gather your thoughts, tap into your imaginative side, and let's triumph over this challenge together. Your solution almost ready and is definitely within reach. Are you ready to unveil your solution? I am eager to see it, so let's proceed and compare the answers. I think the pattern here is that the bottom letter is the last letter in the sum of all the digits. Let's look at the example. In the first diamond, we have numbers 1, 2, and 3. The sum of 1, 2, and 3 is 6, which is verbally spelled as S-I-X, and the last letter of the word 6 is X. This is how X was calculated. Let's look at the second diamond. In the second diamond, the digits are 2, 3, and 4, and the letter is E. 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 9, and in the word 9, the last letter is E. Now let's calculate the missing letter. In the third diamond, the digits are 3, 4, and 5. 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12, and the last letter in the word 12 is E. So the correct answer here is choice D, E. Admit it or not, but it might be a great idea to think of these assessment test questions as puzzle pieces in the grand masterpiece of your skills. The more you solve, the clearer and more vibrant your picture of success becomes. Just as every cloud has a silver lining, every challenging question carries a lesson waiting to be discovered. You're presented with Matchstick Challenge. There is an expression: you need to move one matchstick to fix the equation. Current equation is 1 plus 2 equals 7, which is not mathematically correct. It is hard to believe, but moving only one matchstick will help you solve this equation. Are you feeling challenged by this question? I totally understand. Remember though, you are not navigating this path alone. I am here to help, as well as other subscribers on this channel. Whether you're a problem solver, expert, or a newcomer, I have faith in your capabilities. Take a moment to gather your thoughts, tap into your imaginative skills, and let's triumph over the challenge together. Your solution almost ready and is definitely within reach. Are you ready? I hope you are. So let's move forward and compare our versions of the answer. To solve this challenge, let's first understand the rules on how to deal with these expressions. In matchstick challenges, less and greater signs are not allowed. You also cannot use not equal sign. For example, you cannot move one matchstick from the plus sign to create an expression 1 minus 2 not equal to 7. So now we know what is not allowed. Let's look at the tips how you can actually solve this challenge. Let's look at the 2 most important things. Number 1 is that moving one matchstick changes 2 elements of the equation: source, where you took the matchstick from, and the destination. To solve it effectively, you need to envision the potential rearrangement of matchsticks and how they might alter the equation. There are 3 important rules there. Consider movement of matchsticks from the signs to digits and from the digits to signs. Consider negative numbers. And last but not least, consider which digits can be transformed. Speaking about transformations, let's look at some samples to help you better understand it. For example, you can build 7 from 1 by moving one matchstick from another item. Another example might be building 9 from 5 and 5 from 9 by moving one matchstick from another item. Do you know any other digits transformations? Please make sure to share them in comments so we can all learn. Knowing rules and consideration, it becomes very easy to solve this equation. We just need to move one matchstick from 7 and make 1 a negative number. The correct expression here is -1 plus 2 equals 1. It's hard to argue, but figuring out this question is like making a sandwich. There are a lot of layers, and sometimes all you need to do is just take a bite to understand it. But I feel what's easy to understand is that tackling this particular assessment test question sharpens your mind and fuels your love for challenges. You're presented with 4 expressions, and you need to sort the results of these expressions in descending order. The first expression is 1/5 plus 3/4. Second expression is square root of 1 minus 1/10. Third expression is 1.2 minus 1/4. And the fourth expression is 0.9 multiplied by 1.1. Take a close look at these expressions, do the math, and then select your answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A represents descending order as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Choice B represents as 4, 3, 2, 1. Choice C, 2, 3, 4, 1. And last but not least, choice D, 4, 3, 1, 2. Feel like you stumbled upon a tough one? Well, it's easy to understand that. But you're not alone in this journey. Whether you're a problem-solving veteran or a newcomer, I believe in your capabilities. Take a moment to reflect, tap into your creativity, and let's tackle this challenge together. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready with your solution? I hope you are, so let's move forward and compare our versions for the answer. The easiest way to solve this challenge is to complete the calculations and convert the results into the decimal system. In the first expression, to add these fractions, you need a common denominator, which is 20. So 1/5 becomes 4/20 and 3/4 becomes 15/20. 4/20 plus 15/20 equals 19/20 and equals 0.95. In the second expression, square root of 1 is 1. 1 minus 1/10 equals 9/10 and equals 0.9. A third expression can be calculated as 1.2 minus 0.25, and the end result of this would be 0.95. The result of multiplication in the fourth expression equals 0.99. Now it's time to do the sorting. Our highest value is 0.99, which is the fourth expression. Then we have 2 expressions with the same value. The result of expression 3, 0.95, equals the result of the expression 1, which is 19/20. And our smallest value on the list is the result of the expression 2, which is 0.9. What's especially interesting here is that even though results of expressions 3 and 1 are the same, the correct answer choice is only 1, which is choice D, 4, 3, 1, 2. It's hard to deny, but understanding this particular question is like decoding a secret message. Once you crack it, you feel like a secret agent of knowledge. In fact, patience and mental skills that you're building by practicing this question is the key that unlocks the door to success in the assessment journey as well as in life. You're presented with 9 numbers and need to determine all prime numbers in this series. The numbers are 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39. And your answer should be selected out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 31 and 39. Choice B, 35 and 37. Choice C, 31 and 37. And last but not least, choice D, 35 and 39. Feel like you're stuck on a challenging problem? Well, you're not alone in facing this hurdle. I feel exactly the same way. But whether you're problem-solving pro or a novice, I trust your skills. Take a brief pause, unleash your creative thinking, and let's confront this obstacle as a team. Your answer is eagerly awaiting your discovery. Are you ready with your solution? I hope you are, so let's move forward and compare our versions of the answer. Let's first understand what the prime numbers are. Prime numbers are natural numbers greater than 1 that can only be evenly divided by 1 in themselves, having no other positive divisors. The sample prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and then you continue going up. What's interesting is that the prime numbers are fundamental in number theory and play a crucial role in various mathematical and cryptographic applications. To solve this challenge, we need to go through each number and check if it's divisible by any smaller numbers. Let's start with number 31 and see if it's divisible by any smaller numbers like 2, 3, 4, and so on. Once you do it, you realize that it's not divisible. We can even try a square root of 31 and only to learn that it's not divisible, which means that it is a prime number. 32 can be divided by 2, and the end result of this is 16, so 32 is not a prime number. Same with 33, it can be divided by 3. 34 can be divided by 2, 35 can be divided by 5, 36 can be divided by 2, 37 is a prime number. You can go through the same chain of exploration as we did for number 31. 38 is not a prime number, and 39 is not a prime number. So the correct answer here is choice C, 31 and 37. Let's explore this mind-boggling assessment test together. This question goes beyond typical assessment and validates your attention to details as well as your practical problem-solving techniques. You're presented with 3 expressions and you need to find the fourth one. The first expression is 1 by 2 plus 3. The second expression is 2 by 3 plus 4. The third expression is 3 by 4 plus 5. The fourth expression would need to be selected and rationalized out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 3 by 5 plus 4. Choice B, 4 by 5 plus 6. Choice C, 6 by 5 plus 4. And last but not least, choice D, 7 by 4 plus 5. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you find your answer? I think I discovered my solution, so let's go ahead, move forward, and dissect our problem-solving methods together. I'm eager to share with you my step-by-step process and encourage you to contribute your own ingenious insights in comments. The way I see the answer is that we need to ignore the mass signs, multiplication and plus signs, and focus on the numbers themselves. Because the pattern here is actually the sequence of numbers in each row. For example, let's take a look at the row 1. The numbers are 1, 2, 3. In second row, the numbers are 2, 3, and 4. In the third row, the numbers are 3, 4, and 5. So what we see is that the number in the next row starts with the middle number of the previous row, which means that correct numbers for the row 4 would be 4, 5, and 6. So the correct answer here is choice B, 4 by 5 plus 6. This particular test question is so tricky. It's like trying to fold a fitted sheet perfectly. You think you've got it, but it ends up crumpled mess and nobody has the answer. You're presented with 3 pyramids. Each pyramid has 3 numbers on the outside and 1 number inside. In the first pyramid, the numbers are 27, 16, and 33, and the inside number is 16. In the second pyramid, the numbers are 25, 34, and 46 on the outside, and the inside number is 15. And on the last pyramid, the inside number is 14, and the numbers on the outside are 34, 47, and then comes the missing number, which you need to determine and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 52. Choice B, 53. Choice C, 54. And last but not least, choice D, 55. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Hey, whether you're a current subscriber actively tackling these questions or someone contemplating a subscription in the future, I have complete faith in your ability to overcome this challenge. Just make sure to grant yourself sufficient time for the contemplation. Are you ready? I am going to continue this adventure. Let's navigate together through the complexities and exchange solutions. Your insights could be the key to unlocking this mystery. And speaking about mysteries, I gotta share the secret with you. Only 1 digit from the whole number is used in the calculations here. So, for example, in the first pyramid, instead of using numbers 27, 16, and 33 to calculate the middle number 16, only numbers 7, 6, and 3 are used in the calculations. And sum of 7, 6 plus 3 is exactly 16. If you look at the second pyramid, the numbers 5, 4, and 6 are used in the calculation. And sum of 5, 4, and 6 is 15. So for the missing number, we need to build a quick equation. Because we know the final number 14 and two of the numbers used in the calculations, 4 and 7, we can build a quick equation. 14 minus 4 minus 7 equals 3. So the calculated digit here is 3, and the missing number is choice B, 53. You know, I was recently surprised to learn that it takes 3 contractors to install a new light bulb. Why? One would do the work and the other 2 will give him tips on how to do the work better. Well, the good thing about this problem is that we only need to solve it for 2 contractors. Because in our problem, 2 contractors worked on the project and earned together $1,400. First contractor worked for 3 weeks and another contractor worked for 4 weeks. Assuming they earned the same rate, how much did the first contractor earn? And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A, $200. Choice B, $500. Choice C, $600. And last but not least, choice D, $900. If this problem seems confusing, believe me, it is much easier than manage 3 contractors to install a new light bulb. And whether you're a current subscriber actively tackling questions in this channel or someone considering a subscription in the future, I have complete faith in your ability to solve this challenge. Just make sure to grant yourself sufficient time for contemplation. Are you ready? I'm going to continue this project management adventure. Let's navigate the complexities together and exchange solutions. Your insight could be the help to unlocking this mystery, and if you have a better way to solve it, make sure to post it in comments. In the first step, we need to determine the facts and think critically about the relationships between parties involved, as well as duration of the project and effort. We have 2 contractors, we have 7 weeks of effort, and we have total spend of $1,400. Because we have 2 contractors here, our total earnings would be earnings of the first contractor plus earnings of the second contractor. Let's establish variable X to calculate weekly earnings. Our total earnings would be 3x for the first contractor and 4x for the second contractor, and total would be equal $1,400. 7x would be equal $1,400. Let me give you another tip here. It always helps to create visual representation or a diagram if applicable. In this case, it could be a project plan where you have contractor 1 working for 3 weeks and contractor 2 working for 4 weeks. To calculate weekly earnings for 7 weeks, we need to divide 1,400 by 7, and our weekly earnings are $200. Don't be confused though, because this is not the answer, even though we have a choice A for $200. In the last step, we need to calculate the earnings for the first contractor, who worked for 3 weeks. 3 multiplied by 200 equals 600. So the correct answer here is choice C, $600. I gotta tell you, solving this question is like navigating through the maze blindfold. Challenging, a bit disorienting, and probably not recommended. You're presented with the sequence of numbers. The numbers are 14, 17, 28, 11, 41, 71, 82, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 95. Choice B, 72. Choice C, 11. And last but not least, choice D, 10. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. If you watched enough problems on this channel, you know that to solve these types of challenges, you need to think out of the box. The good thing is, I have full confidence that you can solve this challenge by giving yourself enough time to think about it. Are you ready? Let's move forward so we can solve and review the solution together. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I hope you took my comment to think out of the box to heart. You do not always need to look at the sequence of numbers, but sometimes you need to look at the other patterns as well. And in this case, the numbers on the opposite side of the shape are the reversed versions of themselves. Let's look at the examples. 14 becomes 41. 17 becomes 71. 28 becomes 82. And the missing number 11 is the same, 11. So the correct answer here is choice C, 11. Get ready for a mental rodeo, amigos. I've uncovered a question that's more confusing than figuring out why we park on the driveways and drive on the parkways. You're presented with 4x2 matrix. Matrix has 7 numbers, and you need to calculate the 8th number. The numbers in the first row of the matrix are 3, 6, 1, and 2, and then numbers in the second row are 4, 8, 1, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 2, choice B, 4, choice C, 6, and last but not least, choice D, 8. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Take a solo ride through this cerebral challenge, and when you wrangle the solution, rustle up your thoughts and comments. Get ready for some cognitive fun, and when you're done, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can give you my feedback. Good luck solving this challenge. Well, seeing how good you're becoming with these puzzles, I need to challenge you a little bit. Here's the question for you to solve. But I gotta warn you, trying to understand this question is like attempting to teach a dog advanced calculus, confusing for everyone involved. But hey, once you coach your dog, you can definitely call the audience for help, especially with this question. You need to put a math sign in between numbers 3 and 7, so that the resulting number would be greater than 3 and less than 7. You're presented with multiple choices. Choice A, plus sign. Choice B, minus sign. Choice C, multiplication sign. Or choice D, something else. Well, being an existing subscriber and challenging your brain with us regularly, or potentially considering to become a future subscriber, I have full confidence that you can solve this challenge on your own by giving yourself enough time to think about it. Unfortunately, my help ends here, as you need to embark on this mission solo. Well, of course you can ask your dog for an answer as well, no issues here. But once you've conquered this challenge, share your triumph in comments for a lively discussion. I am eager to review the solution and provide you with the feedback. Thanks for participating, and good luck solving this challenge. Prepare to tackle this intriguing assessment test question, designed not just to test your mental math abilities, but also to foster your critical thinking skills, which you can utilize in your day-to-day life. You're presented with 2 unusually looking hexagons, and each hexagon has the 3 outside numbers and 1 inside number. On the first hexagon, the outside numbers are 16, 36, and 49, and the inside number is 17. On the second hexagon, the outside numbers are 64, 81, and 25, and inside number is missing. You need to determine the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 20, choice B, 21, choice C, 22, and last but not least, choice D, 23. Take a close look to see if you can select the right number. Are you ready? I think I found my answer, and I'm thrilled to compare it with your solution. Let's continue so we can examine our strategies step by step. And if your brilliant approach is better or more efficient than mine, don't hesitate to let us know in comments. Finding the pattern is the key to solving this challenge, and I'm pretty sure, as being a subscriber or a future subscriber to this channel, you know this already. And the pattern here is unusual but very interesting. The middle number is calculated as a sum of square roots of surrounding numbers. Let's look at the example. For example, for shape 1, 4 squared equals 16, 6 squared equals 36, 7 squared equals 49. Then the middle number is calculated as the sum of 4 plus 6 plus 7, which would be equal as 17, and that's the middle number. Knowing this, let's calculate the missing number. 5 squared equals 25, 8 squares equals 64, 9 squared equals 81. So the missing number would be calculated as 5 plus 8 plus 9 equals 22. So the correct answer here is choice C, 22. Here's the question where you might struggle to get to the correct answer, but I have full confidence that you'll be able to solve this challenge. You're presented with the sequence of numbers. The numbers are 1, 3, 11, and then comes the missing number. You need to determine the missing number and rationalize your solution by selecting one of four possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 29. Choice C, 57. And last but not least, choice D, 123. I would recommend you run this question through the most common patterns you have in your mind, so you can get to the correct answer. Are you ready to compare solutions? Awesome! Let me transition into revealing the answer to this question. I'll share with you my take, and if you came up with the different or perhaps more efficient approach, feel free to drop it in comments below. If you are a subscriber, or perhaps a frequent visitor to this channel, you know that the key to solving this challenge is to determine the pattern. And the pattern here is that next number is calculated as a square value of the previous number plus 2. Let's look at the example. The first number is 1. 1 square plus 2 equals 3. Then comes the next number, which is calculated as 3 square plus 2, which equals 11. So the missing number calculation would be 11 square, which equals 121 plus 2, which would be equal 123. So the correct answer here is choice D, 123. What's interesting about the question I'm about to present you is that it truly tests your analytical skills. You need to determine which number comes next in the sequence, and you're presented with the sequence of 6 numbers where 7th number is missing. The sequence is 23, 11, 20, 12, 18, 14, and then comes the missing number, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 16. Choice C, 22. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look, maybe do mental math calculations to see if you can come up with the answer. Seems unsolvable, isn't it? But be sure that the answer will look so simple as soon as I reveal it, just like in a magic trick. Maybe give yourself additional 15 to 20 seconds to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? Because on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you are a frequent visitor or a subscriber to this channel, you know the rule. And rule is to find the pattern. But in this particular question, there are 2 independent patterns. Let's look closely so I can share them with you. The numbers 23, 20, 18, and 17 represent first pattern. And the next number is calculated by subtracting decrementing number from the previous number. Let's look at the example. 23 minus 3 equals 20. 20 minus 2 equals 18. You see that the 3 is decremented by 1 to get to 2. The next number is calculated as 18 minus 1, which is decrement from 2, equals 17. The even numbers, 11, 12, 14, and then the missing number, are calculated using the different pattern. In fact, the opposite pattern, where instead of decrement, we use increment. Let's look at the examples. 11 plus 1 equals 12. Then we increase 1 by additional number, and we increment 12 by 2, which leads us to a result of 14. Then the next number, the missing number, is calculated as 14 plus 3, which would be equal to 17. So the correct answer here is choice A, 17. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. This is one of my favorite questions because it tests your analytical skills as well as your abilities to identify sequences. You're presented with the series of numbers, and you need to identify the pattern and select the option that completes the series. Take a close look at the numbers. The numbers are 2, 5, 9, 14, and 20 in the first row. Second row is 3, 6, 10, 15, and 21. The third row is 4, 8, 13, 19, and 26. And last but not least, the fourth row has the series of numbers 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, and then comes the missing number. You need to detect the pattern and select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 16. Choice C, 23. And last but not least, choice D, 18. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because I already found my solution, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The key to solve these types of challenges is obviously to identify the pattern and not to overthink it. If we look at the series of numbers, we have 4 independent rows, and each row represents an independent sequence which follows the same pattern. So what is the pattern? And the pattern here is rather simple. The next number is calculated as previous number plus the increment. An increment increases by 1 with each subsequent number. Let's look at the example on how calculations are done for the first row of numbers. In the first calculation, the increment is 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Then increment increases by 1 and from 3 becomes 4, which means 5 plus 4 equals 9. Then increment increases again and 9 plus 5 equals 14. 14 plus 6 equals 20. I'm going to skip rows 2 and 3 so you can do calculations independently to practice your skills, but I am going to do the calculations for the last row. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Increment increases by 1, so 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 3 equals 7. 7 plus 4 equals 11. And last calculation, 11 plus 5 equals 16. So the correct answer here is choice A, 16. Did you get to the same answer? If not, maybe you have a better way to solve it, so please make sure to post in comments so we can all learn. And now it's time for a challenge. I've got a question that requires your analytical and problem-solving skills. Solve it on your own and feel free to share your response in comments. I'll be happy to give you my feedback. You need to find the word closely associated with the word payroll. The missing word has 7 letters. Not all the letters are missing though. The second, fourth, and sixth letters are present, and they are A, M, and N. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I truly believe in your skills, so I'm urging you to take on this question by yourself. Once you've cracked it, make sure to drop the answer in comments below. I'll be here to provide the feedback and support. Thanks for being part of this, and good luck. In this section, we will look at the most common customer service test questions we typically see on the test. A customer service test is a type of assessment used by employers to evaluate candidates' customer service skills, abilities, and aptitude for dealing with customers. Customer service test assesses various aspects of customer service, such as communication skills, problem-solving abilities, empathy, and professionalism. The typical purpose of the customer service test is to determine candidates' potential for delivering high-quality customer service and their fit for a customer-facing role. This test helps employers to assess how well a candidate can handle customer interactions, resolve issues, and represent the customer in a positive manner. Let's look at some sample customer service test questions we typically see on the test. Here's a truly amazing question which tests your customer service skills. As a retail store worker, imagine you're carrying a big basket of fresh fruits. Suddenly, a customer comes up to you and asks where she can find a coffee. Which response would be the best way to handle the situation? You're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A. Politely walk past the customer without saying anything because you need to replenish the fruits in the store shelves. Choice B. Gently put down the basket of fruits and show the customer where the coffee is located. Choice C. Explain to the customer verbally where she can find the coffee. And then last but not least, choice D. Request the customer to wait and come back to her after you finish dealing with the fruits. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Tricky question, don't you think so? But I'm sure by now you already know the answer, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The most important thing in these types of question is not just to pick the answer, but have a rationale and strategy on how to answer them. I used 4 customer service principles to answer this question. Number 1 principle is responding promptly to customer inquiries and needs is crucial in delivering excellent customer service. Second principle is that offering direct customer assistance, such as guiding the customer to the product they're seeking, shows attentiveness and care. Number 3 principle I used is prioritizing and addressing the customer request immediately, demonstrate that their needs are essential and respected. And number 4 principle is that ensuring the customer feels attended to and valued enhances their overall shopping experience. Now let's look at the choices which I was able to eliminate using these 4 principles. I eliminated choice A, silently walk past the customer because you need to upgrade the fruits in the store. This choice is incorrect because it neglects customer request and it does not address her needs, resulting in poor customer service. It also allowed me to eliminate choice C, explain to the customer verbally where she can find the coffee. Obviously, providing verbal information is helpful, but option C does not acknowledge the importance of assisting the customer hands-on, which can have a more positive impact on her shopping experience. And last but not least, choice D, request the customer to wait and come back to her after you finish dealing with the fruit, was eliminated because this choice is not ideal. It delays addressing the customer request and may lead her feeling ignored and unimportant during her shopping journey. Excellent customer service involves being responsive and attentive to customer needs promptly. This leads us to the choice B as a final answer. Choice B, gently put down the basket of fruits and show the customer where the coffee is located. As a retail store worker, providing excellent customer service is essential. By politely setting aside the basket of fruits and guiding the customer to coffee section, you offer immediate assistance and show that you value her needs. This approach makes the customer feel attended to and helps her find what she is looking for promptly. Did you come up with the different answer? If you did, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments so we can all learn. Here's an interesting question to see how well you would deal with customer service inquiries. A customer is upset because her favorite pizza is currently unavailable. What is the best way to respond? And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A, tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Choice B, offer the customer an alternative pizza option. Choice C, inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock. And last but not least, choice D, state that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? If not, please make sure to pause this video to see if you can come up with the answers, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to resolve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, this question is not about picking one of the choices. This question is about a fundamental customer service principles and how you use them to answer this particular question. You also want to make sure to mention all these principles when you're answering this question in person. So what are those principles? There are 4 of them. Number 1 is acknowledging the customer's disappointment. Because her favorite pizza is not available and you show empathy, this shows your understanding of her feelings. Number 2 principle is providing an immediate alternative option, which shows responsiveness and commitment to helping the customer promptly. Number 3 principle is taking responsibility for finding a solution which exemplifies ownerships and dedication for you to help resolve customer issue. And last but not least is the principle of offering an alternative. In this case, you can offer alternative pizza, which would demonstrate a proactive approach to addressing the customer concern and finding a suitable resolution. Based on these 4 principles, let's look at the incorrect answers and why you might avoid selecting them. Choice A, tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Using this selection passes the responsibility to the manager and may make customer feel ignored and dismissed, and it is important to take initiative and attempt to assist the customer directly. Choice C, inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock, is a good choice. But this is not the best choice. While this response shows some willingness to help, it may leave the customer waiting for the solution. Offering an immediate alternative is a more proactive approach. And last incorrect choice is choice D. State that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Telling the customer that it's not your responsibility can come across as unhelpful and may lead to further dissatisfaction. You should strive to assist the customer as much as possible within your capacity. So as you might have figured out, I believe that the correct answer to this question is choice B, offer an alternative pizza option. By offering an alternative pizza option, you address the customer's disappointment and demonstrate willingness to help. In addition to the suggestion, you can also offer to search for her favorite pizza flavors in competitor brands. This approach helps turn a negative situation into a positive one, where you learn more about the customer and find the proactive solution as possible suitable alternative. What do you think about this question? Do you agree with this solution? Do you have a better way to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at numerical reasoning test questions frequently used in a test. Numerical reasoning assessment test is a standardized evaluation designed to assess individuals' ability to understand and work with numerical data, make calculations, interpret charts and graphs, and draw conclusions from quantitative information. The typical content of numerical reasoning test can vary, but often include topics such as basic arithmetic, percentage and ratios, data interpretation, financial analysis, mathematical problem solving, number sequences, and a lot of others. Let's look at some sample numerical reasoning assessment test questions we typically see on the test. What's interesting about this problem is that it seems unsolvable, but if you make one correct assumption, it's so easy to solve it. You're presented with the shelf of items from the coffee shop, and the items are cupcakes and cookies. There are 3 sets of items, and 2 sets have price tags associated with them, and the last set does not, and you need to calculate the price tag for the last set. The first set consists of 1 cookie and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the first set is $7. The second set consists of 2 cookies and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the second set is $12. The last set consists of only 1 cupcake, and you need to calculate and select price for the cupcake out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $5. Choice B, $4. Choice C, $2. And last but not least, choice D, $3. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? It seems unsolvable, but the only thing you need to make is one assumption. And using this assumption, I'm going to move forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Take a close look at the first set. The first set consists of cookie and cupcake, and it costs $7. What's interesting is that the second set already includes the first set plus the cookie, which allows us to calculate the price of this extra cookie. And we can do it by subtracting 7 from 12, and the end result of it is $5, which means that the price of cookie is $5. Now we can easily calculate the price of cupcake by subtracting 5 from 7, which means that the total price of cupcake is 2. So the correct answer here is choice C, $2. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's a very interesting problem which shows how well you can do mental calculations. It will take another 5 minutes for the clock to strike 4 o'clock. How much time is left until the clock shows 3:45? You're presented with 2 clocks. One shows 5 minutes before 4 o'clock. Second one shows 3:45. And you need to select the answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 11 hours and 50 minutes. Choice B, 12 hours and 10 minutes. Choice C, 11 hours and 10 minutes. And last but not least, choice D, 10 minutes. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if for whatever reason you think the answer should be different, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Let's first determine how much time is actually on the clock. Based on the description, it will take another 5 minutes for the clock to strike 4 o'clock, which means that the clock now shows 3:55. Our next described point on the clock will be 3:45, which could be represented as 15:45, and clock will reach this point after around 12 hours to show 3:45 again. In the military time, which is frequently used in US, it's going to be 15:45, and it's going to be a little bit less than 15:55. Let's determine how much less than 12 hours it's going to be. Since the clock already passed 10 minutes from 3:45 to 3:55, it will take 10 minutes less than full 12 hours. This is why we can subtract 10 minutes from 12 hours to get to the answer of 11 hours and 50 minutes. So the correct answer here is choice A, 11 hours and 50 minutes. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing problem where you need to exercise your brain and cognitive skills by calculating not just one number, but two numbers. You're presented with the scale, and you see that the value of diamond as well as the sum values are missing. And you need to ensure that scale remains balanced by calculating the value of the diamond as well as the sum. And once you've done with your calculations, you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, values 18 and 96. Choice B, values 12 and 88. Choice C, values 20 and 92. And last but not least, choice D, values 19 and 94. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can complete the calculations. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the calculations. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, let's look at the picture closely to better understand what we're dealing with. We're presented with the multi-tier scale, and this scale has 4 tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Scale remains in balance because values on the left side and on the right side are equal, and the values are represented by the total of numbers inside of each shape. For example, circle has number 12, hexagon has number 6, triangle has number 3, and square has number 4. Let's look closely at Tier 3 to better understand how this tier remains in balance. As I already mentioned, each tier remains in balance because the numbers are equal on both sides. So on the left of the Tier 3, we have 2 hexagons with total value of 12. On the right of the Tier 3, we have hexagon, which equals number 6, plus 2 triangles, 3 plus 3. So on both sides, the total value is 12. This is why Tier 3 remains in balance. Now let's look closely at the Tier 2. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles. Each circle has a value of 12. 2 circles would be equal 24. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles with total value of 24, and the entire Tier 3, which also equals 24. This what keeps Tier 2 in balance. Now, knowing this logic, we can calculate the missing value on Tier 4. Because Tier 4 needs to remain in balance, the value of 12 plus 6 should be equal to the missing value, which means that the missing value is 18. And the total sum will be calculated as the sum of all the numbers. The sum of Tier 2 and Tier 3 would be 24 plus 24 plus 48 on the right side of Tier 1, which would equal 96. So the correct answer here is choice A, 18 and 96. Did you get to the different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a very interesting question where answer is absolutely not obvious. You're presented with interestingly looking shapes. On top of the shape is triangle. On the bottom left and on the bottom right, there are squares. There are numbers inside the triangle, and there are also numbers inside the squares. Let's take a close look. The first object has number 5 inside the triangle, and number 3 in the left square, and number 17 in the right square. Second object has number 4 inside the triangle, and numbers 5 and 22 inside the squares. The third object has number 3 inside the square, and numbers 8 and 26 inside the squares. The fourth object has number 2 inside of the triangle, number 7 in the left square, and then comes the missing number inside the right square. And did I mention that all objects are of different colors? If we go from left to right, we start with red on the left, next goes light blue, yellow, and then darker blue. And obviously you're the one who needs to make sense out of it and calculate the missing number. Once calculated, select the final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 14. Choice B, 25. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you're a frequent visitor to this channel, or even better if you're a subscriber, you probably know that the key to solving these types of challenges is to understand the pattern. And the pattern here is that the number in the right square is calculated. And it's calculated by multiplying the number inside of the triangle onto the left square number. And on top of this multiplication, you also add 2 to the end result of the calculation. Let's look at the example. If we multiply 5 by 3 in the first object, the end result of this calculation would be 15. Then we add 2 to 15, and that's how we get to the number in the right square, which is 17. Let's look at the second example. 4 multiplied by 5 equals 20, plus 2 equals 22. Now let's move to the third object. 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, plus 2 equals 26. And now comes the missing number. To calculate it, we need to multiply 2 by 7, which would be equal to 14, and then add 2, and end result of this would be 16. So the correct answer here is choice C, 16. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a very interesting question where you need to calculate the missing number. You're presented with 4 circles. Each circle is of a different color. The first circle has number 1 inside of it. Second circle has number 2. Third circle has number 5 inside. And last circle has the missing number represented by the question mark. You need to calculate and select final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 24. Choice B, 26. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the final answer. Are you ready? I hope you found the answer because it's so easy to calculate. Let's move forward so I can share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I keep repeating myself when I say that finding pattern is the key to solve this challenge. And the pattern here is that the next number is calculated as a square value of the previous number plus 1. Let's look at the example. The first number is given, which is 1. Second number is calculated as 1 square plus 1 and equals 2. The third number is calculated as 2 square plus 1 and equals 5, which means that the missing number is calculated as 5 square, which would be equal to 25, plus 1, which would be equal to 26. So the correct answer here is choice B, 26. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's the challenging problem by solving which you will boost your cognitive abilities. You're presented with 5 hints, and using these hints, you need to unlock the code and open the lock. The hints are: in the digits 248, only 1 digit is correct and well placed. In the digits 845, 2 digits are correct but not correctly placed. In the digits 461, only 1 digit is correct and it is correctly placed. In the digits 592, only 1 digit is correct and it is well placed. And last but not least, hint that in the digits 904, none of the digits are correct. To open the lock, you need to process all the hints and select 1 out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 518. Choice B, 485. Choice C, 418. And last but not least, choice D, 568. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I'm pretty sure you're done solving it by now, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer and solution. And if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, you solve this problem through elimination. And I'm going to start with the hint number 5, because it's the most helpful of all. Once we've learned that in combination 904 none of the digits are correct, we can eliminate 2 possible answers. We can eliminate both choices B and C because both of them have digit 4, which is an incorrect digit. Let's continue elimination to get to the correct answer. If we look through the remaining 4 hints, we learn that in hint 1, where digits are 2, 4, 8, only 1 digit is correctly placed, which is digit 8. In hint 2, 2 digits are correct, but they're not correctly placed, and they're digits 8 and 5. In hint 3, only 1 digit 6 is correct, and it is correctly placed. And last but not least, in hint 4, digit 5 is correct, and it is well placed. Based on this, the correct answer here is choice D, 568. Do you have any hints to show how to best solve these types of challenges? If you do, please make sure to post them in comments. Have you ever dealt with the money tree? Well, now it's your opportunity. and it's your opportunity to check your attention to details. You're presented with the money tree making enterprise, and you need to calculate the total value of money that you see in the picture. What's interesting here is that each coin is 1 cent, and each bill equals $1. You need to identify all coins and all bills and count the total value. Once you complete the calculations, please select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $10.18. Choice B, $12.09. Choice C, $15.15. And last but not least, choice D, $18.07. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. I think the correct answer here is choice A, $10.18. And here's why. I counted $10 in the picture. Let's start with the top of the money tree. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the right, we see another group of the dollar bills. There are $5 there. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we see the hard-to-notice dollar bill on the top of the flower pot. Now let's count the coins. We see 9 coins to the right of the flower pot. Then we see 8 coins coming out of the watering can. And then there is 1 coin on top of the watering can, which is easy to miss. Did you get to the same answer? Choice A, $10.18? If you didn't, please make sure to post your answer and whatever other coins or dollar bills I missed in comments. Here's a puzzling question for you, but I have full confidence that you can solve it quickly. You're presented with 4x4 matrix, and the numbers are, starting in the upper left corner, 9, 8, 3, 4. The second row numbers are 2, 9, 2, and then comes the missing number. The third row starts with 4, 6, 2, 0. And last but not least row is 7, 6, 2, and 6. You need to calculate the missing number, and you have 4 different choices to select from. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 5. Choice C, 6. And last but not least, choice D, 7. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Did you get to the right answer? I hope you did, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. You're probably tired of hearing this on this channel, but to solve these types of challenges, you need to detect the pattern. And the pattern here is that the last 2 digits are equal to the sum of the first 2 digits multiplied by 2. Let's look at the example. The first row contains numbers 9, 8, 3, 4. And the expression here is that 9 plus 8 in parentheses multiplied by 2 equals 34. Based on this logic, the third number would be 4 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 20, which represents the set of numbers 4, 6, and then 20. And then the last row would be 7 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be 13 multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 26. So the missing number would be calculated as 2 plus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 22. So the correct answer here is choice A, 2. Did you get to the same answer? If you didn't, or maybe you got to a different answer, please make sure to post your version in comments. You will enjoy this question because it tests your logical thinking and analytical skills. You're presented with the dart in the exact middle of the dartboard. Dart has numbers on top of the ribbon and at the end of the ribbon. The numbers on the ribbon are 13, 18, 41, 128, and 517. Numbers at the end of the ribbon are 18, 41, 128, 517, and then comes the missing number you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, 1921, choice B, 2029, choice C, 2359, and last but not least, choice D, 2590. Give yourself a moment, maybe pause this video to see if you can calculate the answer. Are you ready? Let's move forward so I can share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. First, to answer this question, let's understand what we're dealing with. Since this game may not be very familiar in all the parts of the world, let's start with the definition. Darts is the competitive sport in which players throw small sharp-pointed missiles, known as darts, at the round target known as dartboard. Now let's look closely at the dart we're dealing with. Our dart is unique because it has ribbons. There is a number on the ribbon and there is a calculated number at the end of the ribbon. To complete the calculations, let's assign each ribbon unique number. We're dealing with ribbons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And as you might have already figured out, the number at the end of the ribbon is calculated based on the sequence ID and number on top of the ribbon itself. The formula to do the calculations is that the end of the ribbon number is calculated as number on top of the ribbon multiplied by sequence ID plus 5. Let's look at the example. The first blue ribbon has the sequence number 1, so that the end of the ribbon number is calculated as 13 multiplied by 1 plus 5, which would be equals 18. The second ribbon number is calculated as 18 multiplied by 2 plus 5 equals 41. The third ribbon number is calculated as 41 multiplied by 3 plus 5 equals 128. And the fourth ribbon number is calculated as 128 multiplied by 4 plus 5 equals 517. Now we know how to calculate the missing number. The missing number is calculated as 517 multiplied by 5 plus 5, which would be equal to 2590. So the correct answer here is choice D, 2590. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. In this section, we will look at the work simulation test, which is used to evaluate candidates' ability to perform tasks and skills required for the job. The questions on this type of test typically involve simulated scenarios and tasks that are similar to what the candidate would encounter on the job, such as data analysis, customer service, and problem solving. Let's look at some sample work simulation assessment test questions to get you ready. Here's a very interesting question to determine how well you can work with others. You need to determine what is the best way to schedule a meeting with the client who is based in a different time zone and has limited availability. You need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, schedule the meeting without considering the client's time zone. Choice B, email the client with several date and time options without specifying the time zone. Choice C, check the client's time zone and suggest several date and time options that work for both the client and your manager. And last but not least, choice D, schedule the meeting during your manager's preferred time slot without considering the client's availability or time zone. Take a close look to see if you can select the right answer. And I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice C. Option C is the best choice because it takes into consideration the client's availability and time zone. There are 2 stakeholders in this action, your manager and your client. And you need to check the time zone and suggest several date and time options that work for both the client and your manager. This will ensure that the meeting is scheduled at a convenient time for both parties, and this minimizes the risk of confusion and miscommunication. Let's also look at other options to determine why they might be incorrect. Let's look at option A. It is wrong because it ignores the client's time zone, which will lead to scheduling conflicts. Option B is also incorrect because it does not specify the time zone, which can cause confusion and miscommunication. And last but not least, option D is incorrect as well because it disregards the client's availability and time zone, which can lead to scheduling conflicts and damage the company's reputation. When you solved this challenge on your own, did you come up with the different answer? If this is the case, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Very frequently on the test, companies look at your customer service skills. This is one of these types of questions. You work as a CSR and need to help troubleshoot internet connectivity. What is the best approach to troubleshoot slow internet speeds for a customer? You're presented with 4 choices and you need to select one. Choice A, ask the customer to restart their modem and transfer to technical support if issue persists. Choice B, ask the customer to restart their computer and transfer to technical support if issue persists. Choice C, Ask the customer to check their internet connection and transfer to technical support if the issue persists. And last but not least, choice D, walk the customer through the thorough troubleshooting process, including resetting the modem and computer, checking cables and connections, and testing the internet speeds. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. If you need to pause this video, feel free to do this to reread the answers and select the correct one. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, or have a different important considerations, please make sure to bring them up in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice D. To remind you, in choice D, you would need to walk the customer through a thorough troubleshooting process, including resetting the modem and computer, checking cables and connections, and testing the internet speeds. Only this approach shows your commitment to providing excellent customer service and may even resolve the issue without need for technical support transfer. One important thing to note, the original question is kind of convoluted and it uses the acronyms. Just to clarify for you, CSR stands for Customer Service Representative. And now let's look at the incorrect choices A, B, and C, to see why they are incorrect. I think those options are incorrect because they only involved asking the customer to perform a single action and then transferring them to technical support. This approach may not resolve the issue and it may result in the customer having to wait longer for the resolution. Did you come up with the different answer? If you did, please make sure to post your answer, considerations, and thought process in comments. Here's a very interesting question on how to provide recommendation to your manager for the new product line. Your manager wants you to provide a recommendation on whether to continue investing in the new product line based on your analysis of the sales data. What is the best approach to analyze the sales data and provide the recommendation? You're presented with 4 different choices. Let's look at each one of them. Choice A. Conduct a simple analysis of the sales data and provide recommendation based on initial findings. Choice B. Conduct a comprehensive analysis of the sales data, including market trends and competitor data. Provide a recommendation based on your findings. Choice C. Provide a recommendation based on personal opinion and expertise without conducting any analysis of the sales data. And last but not least, choice D. Provide a recommendation based on the sales data from a similar product line without analyzing the sales data for the new product line. Take a close look to see if you can select the correct answer. Are you ready? Ready or not, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think the correct answer here is choice B. In choice B, you need to conduct a comprehensive analysis of the sales data, including market trends and competitor data. Provide a recommendation based on your findings. I think this choice is correct because it allows you to provide a thorough understanding of the sales data, ensuring more accurate and informed recommendation. Conducting a comprehensive analysis of the sales data is essential in making an informed decision for your manager. Let's also look at the incorrect choices to determine why they are incorrect. Option A is too simplistic and can get the result in an incomplete assessment of the sales data. Option C is unreliable and can be seen as unprofessional since it's based on personal opinion and experience without any supporting data. And last but not least, choice D is not recommended since it involves using sales data from a similar product line, which may not be relevant to the new product line. Was your answer different? If it was, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. In this section, we will look at Microsoft Excel questions frequently used in a test. Microsoft Excel test is a standardized assessment designed to measure an individual's proficiency in using this powerful spreadsheet software application. This test assesses a candidate's knowledge and skills in various Excel functions, formulas, data manipulation, formatting, and data analysis. It is commonly used by employers during the hiring process to determine a candidate's level of Excel proficiency. This assessment typically includes a variety of Excel tasks and exercises that range from basic to more advanced functionalities within Microsoft Excel. These tasks might involve creating and formatting spreadsheets, performing calculations using formulas and functions, managing data sets, creating charts and graphs, and demonstrating an understanding of data analysis techniques. Let's look at some sample Microsoft Excel test questions we typically see on the test. Here's an amazing question which is frequently used for analyst Excel assessment test. Steve is analyzing the dataset of sales transactions, which has gaps in data after system crash. Which formula should he use to determine the number of all revenue-generating transactions? And you're presented with the dataset as well as 4 different choices. Choice A, count A2 through A11. Choice B, count A, and then the ranges E2 through E11. Choice C, count blank, and then in parentheses, dataset D2 through D11. And last but not least, count if C2 through C11, and then star in quotes. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. What's interesting about this question is that all answers will generate the output, so there are no errors that will be generated. But to answer this question, you need to solve the business problem. And as usual, I'm going to move forward to share with you my version of the solution. And if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice B, count A for the range E2 through E11. Once we enter this formula, you can see that there are 8 records that are not blank. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And ultimately, this choice B, will count the number of non-blank cells in the revenue column. Since the revenue column contains the total revenue generated by each transaction, the result of this formula will be equal to the number of transactions for which revenue was generated. And this particular formula will help us answer the question, how many transactions actually generated the revenue? Now let's look at other choices to better understand why they are incorrect. Choice A, where formula is used, is count, and the ranges A2 through E11. There are 9 values counted as a result of this formula. And in fact, this formula will count the number of non-blank cells in the ID column. Since each transaction has a unique ID, the result of this formula will help us answer the question, how many valid transactions were there in total? Now let's look at choice C, count blank for the range D2 through D11. This formula returns value of 1. And this is absolutely correct, because this formula counts the number of blank cells in the quantity column. And it helps us answer the question, how many transactions had no units sold? And last but not least is choice D, count if for the range C2 through C11 with the star in quotes. This formula returns the value of 9. And in fact, this is absolutely correct, because this formula counts the number of cells in the product column that contain certain text. Since the wildcard was used, which star represents wildcard, all transactions with non-blank product values will be counted. This is why this formula is helpful to answer business question, how many transactions have non-blank product values? Do you have any other solutions or considerations? Please make sure to share them in comments so we can all learn. Here's an interesting question to test your knowledge of Excel formulas and functions. June is a small business owner, and she recorded her sales figures in an Excel spreadsheet. She needs to calculate total sales for 2022. Which of the following formulas will calculate the total sales correctly? You're presented with the snapshot of data from Microsoft Excel, and you need to select one out of 4 possible choices. Choice A equals sum B3 through B6. Choice B equals add, and then in parentheses B3 through B6. Choice C equals total, and then in parentheses B3 through B6. And last but not least, choice D equals product, and then in parentheses equals B3 minus B6. Do you know the answer? I have full confidence that you can quickly solve this challenge. And I'm going to move forward to share with you my answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to share in comments. To solve this challenge, you need to understand the data and know Microsoft Excel formulas and functions. As you might have figured out, the correct answer here is choice A equals sum, and then in parentheses range B3 through B6. Sum function in Excel adds up the range of numbers. And to calculate the total sales for 2022, we need to add up all the sales figures for all quarters in 2022. As you can see, column B represents the sales data for 2022, and rows 3 through 6 represent quarterly sales. Now we know that the correct answer is choice A equals sum, and then in parentheses, cell B3 through B6. Let's look at why other options are incorrect. Option B, add values B3 through B6, is not a valid Excel formula. Option C, total B3 through B6, is also not a valid Excel formula. And choice product B3 minus B6 will multiply the values in the range B3 through B6 together, and it will not give you the total sales for 2022. In fact, if you looked at the choice D, the values supplied is not even the range. It's the difference between the values of B3 and B6, because we're supplying only one argument, which is the result of mathematical operation B3 minus B6. And in fact, the output of this function, product B3 minus B6, will be negative, because it's a result of a subtraction of 337 minus 439, and the end result will be negative 101.91. Do you have any other thoughts or considerations about this question? Please make sure to share them in comments. Here's an amazing question to test your knowledge of frequently used Microsoft Excel functions. Lakshmi needs to determine the smallest quarterly sales amount for 2023. Which of the following formulas can she use in Microsoft Excel to accomplish this? You're presented with the snippet of data, and you have 4 different choices to choose from. Formula min, and then you have values in parentheses, table B3 through table E6. Choice B, min fs, and then value in parentheses, B3 through E6. Choice C, min A, B3 through E6 in parentheses, and last but not least, choice D, min B3 through E6. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. On my end, I'm going to jump to Microsoft Excel to share with you my version, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice D, using min function and then in parentheses supplying argument B3 through E6. To understand the answer, let's look at the data. We have source data for quarterly sales located in the range B3 through E6. We have 4 salespeople on the left, and then we have quarterly sales represented in the row 2. Min function returns the minimum value in the range of cells, and it can be used to determine the smallest quarterly amount for 2023. Since the formula is correct and the range of cells selected is correct, min function will calculate the smallest amount, and smallest amount is equals 253.11. To reinforce the knowledge, let's also look at the incorrect answers to better understand why they are incorrect. Choice A is incorrect because it does not return the valid results. Let's try it. You see that the syntax is not correct. Choice B, min ifs function, sends the incorrect number of arguments into the function and thus generates an error. You've entered too few arguments for this function. Choice C, on the other hand, min A function, has too many arguments and doesn't return any results. So the correct choice here is choice D, when we use the min function to find the smallest sales. Do you have any other suggestions? Please make sure to post them in comments. Here's an interesting question to test how well you know average formula as well as its variations. Isabella is trying to calculate the average new wave sales across all the regions. Which formula should she select? You're presented with the data set as well as 4 different choices. Choice A, average formula and parameters to supply C2 through C10. Choice B, average A formula and parameters supplied are C2 through C10. Choice C, average if formula and the values are C2 through C10 and the second parameters is greater than 0. And last but not least is average if S, and then as the arguments you see the range C2 through C10, second argument is range A2 through A10, third argument is not equal to D, fourth argument B2 through B10, and the last argument is not equals to south. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the right answer. And on my end, I am going to jump to Excel to show you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, the correct answer is choice A, all you need to do is type the average formula and then select the data set C2 through C10 to calculate the average sales value for all the regions. What's interesting about choice B is that technically it is also a correct answer. Average A with the range C2 through C10 will also calculate the average sales, but it includes all the values in the range, even if they have text or errors. In this case, since all values in the range are numbers, the two functions, choice A and choice B, will give you the same result. What's interesting is that option C, average if with the values C2 through C10 and second parameter greater than 0, calculates the average of all sales that are greater than 0 and gives you the same result. But it's not a recommended option because the end result may not always be the same as average of all sales. And the last choice, option D, average if S with all the parameters that we supply, calculates the average sales for all products and regions, except for the product soda and except the values in the South region. This is more specific calculation than the average of all sales and does not represent the right answer. Did this question trigger some thoughts or considerations in your mind? Please make sure to share in comments so we can all learn. And now, here's the practice question for you. In this question, I'm not going to give you the answer, but instead, I'm going to ask you to post your solution in comments so I can give you my feedback. June is a small business owner, and she recorded her sales figures in Excel spreadsheet. She needs to calculate total sales for 2022. Which of the following formulas will calculate the sales correctly? You're presented with the data set and 4 different choices. Formulas are sum, add, total, and product, and they point to the range B3 through B6. Take a close look to see if you can answer the business question. And once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's the very interesting question to test your knowledge of rounding in Microsoft Excel. Technology startup company sent 46 members for an off-site training. At the training facility, they were organized into 7 member groups. Which Excel formula do you need to use to calculate number of teams with all members, ignoring any remainders? You're presented with 4 different choices. Choice A, divide cell A2 by B2. Choice B, you use round down formula and supply A2 divided by B2 as a first argument, and as a second argument you supply 0. Choice C, you use round formula and then supply A2 divided by B2, and second argument you supply as 0. And last but not least, you use round up formula, and then in parentheses you supply division of A2 by B2 and second argument as 0. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, or have any other feedback or suggestions, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice B, round down. And the reason is because to solve this challenge, we need to use Excel formula which rounds the number down to the nearest integer. To simulate this scenario in Microsoft Excel, let's use round down formula. And you can see that it rounds a number down towards 0. And then let's supply arguments A2 divided by B2. And the second argument, which indicates how many digits we're rounding down to, would be 0. And then you see that the number of full-size teams is 6. If you don't trust Excel like I do, let's confirm the calculations by dividing the cell A2 by B2 without using any formulas, and you see that the number here that was calculated is 6.5714, and the full number is 6, which meets our criteria for original question. Do you have a better solution? Please make sure your version and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at the behavioral employment assessment questions frequently asked in a test. Behavioral questions are used by employers to evaluate a candidate's behavioral tendencies, soft skills, and decision-making abilities in specific work-related scenarios. These tests are designed to predict how well a candidate is likely to perform and how well the candidate will fit into company's culture based on their responses to various situational questions. Most commonly, employers use following 3 types of questions. Number 1 is scenario-based questions. Candidates are presented with hypothetical work-related scenarios or situations. These scenarios may be relevant to a specific job role or industry the candidate is applying for. Number 2 are multiple-choice questions. Candidates are provided with multiple-choice options as responses for each scenario. They need to choose the most appropriate or effective response. And last but not least are evaluation behavioral trait questions. These types of questions assess various behavioral traits and soft skills of the candidates, such as problem-solving ability, communication skills, teamwork, conflict resolution, time management, adaptability, and leadership potential. Let's look at some of the specific behavioral test questions we frequently see on the test. Here's an amazing question we frequently see on the test. You're presented with the statement. In this case, the statement is, I'm working better when no one is bothering me. You need to select your answer out of 7 possible choices. Choice A, strongly disagree. Choice B, disagree. Choice C, somewhat disagree. Choice D, not sure. Choice E, somewhat agree. Choice F, agree. And last but not least, choice G, strongly agree. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. This is a tricky question, so in addition to just selecting the answer, I would recommend that you build a mental strategy on how to answer and why are you selecting this particular choice. Are you ready? Let's move forward, so I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Before answering this question, let's take a close look to see what employer is looking for. I believe in this particular question, employer is looking for specific qualities and skills related to teamwork and collaboration. What's interesting is while the statement, I'm working better when no one's bothering me, might reflect preference for working independently, this is not correct. This statement, if answered incorrectly, raises concerns about your ability to function effectively within the team-oriented environment. To better understand how to answer, let's imagine the scenario where you're answering this question during job interview. How would you answer? I might be wrong, but when answering, you would highlight 3 important points. Number 1, you would highlight your collaboration skills. You would emphasize your ability to work well with others and your experiences in collaborating on projects and tasks. You probably would benefit by providing examples on how you communicate effectively, share ideas, and respect diverse opinions. Number 2, you would discuss successful team experiences. You probably would provide examples of times when you worked effectively in a team setting and collaborating to achieving positive outcomes. And last but not least, I would recommend that you acknowledge your independence but show adaptability. While it's okay to appreciate periods of uninterrupted work, it's essential to demonstrate your adaptability to work in a team when required. Now let's summarize and look at important considerations on how you can answer these types of questions. There are a few important criteria to keep in mind. Number 1 is that this question measures your level of sociability. These types of questions measure your tendency to enjoy being around people and working with others. Number 2 is in this question, employer is trying to determine if you're a good team player. Number 3, the correct answer depends on the specific job, but keep in mind that most of the jobs require interactions with other team members. So the summary here is that if your job opening requires teamwork, and most of the jobs do, it's always better to answer strongly disagree or disagree. And if you have ability to provide the rationale for your answer, make sure to use the samples that I'm just about to provide to you, as well as considerations in this notes section. Let's look at the specific sample. So you're presented with the question, I'm working better when no one is bothering me. Your answer might be, I respectfully disagree that I work better when no one's bothering me. In any work environment, I recognize the importance of being open to collaboration, as well as team interactions. I understand that work processes can be unpredictable and that there may be situations where my coworkers require help or attention. And I'm always willing to lend a hand and actively engage with my team members to ensure our collective success. I genuinely enjoy being around people and thrive in collaborative setting. Working with others helps me leverage diverse perspectives and skill sets, which often leads to innovative solutions and improved outcomes. I strongly believe that maintaining open communications with colleagues fosters a supportive and productive work environment. What's even more important is that while I prefer to minimize unnecessary distractions and unrelated requests during my focus time, I understand that effective teamwork sometimes necessitates flexibility. In such cases, I am acceptable and capable of handling stress with composure. I have developed resilience and the ability to maintain productivity even in the demanding situations. So, ultimately, I am confident that my collaborative mindset, interpersonal skills, and capacity to handle varying work dynamics make me a strong fit for the role that requires team interactions. I am committed to contributing my best efforts to the team's success and fostering a positive and productive work environment. This is why, when I was presented with the question, I am working better when no one bothering me, I chose choices A, strongly disagree, or choice B, disagree. What are your thoughts and experiences answering this type of question? Could you please share your thought process and rationale in comments so we can all learn? We get a lot of questions on how to excel on behavioral assessment tests for employment. I believe that to succeed on behavioral tests, you must adopt a comprehensive approach that showcases authenticity, self-awareness, job relevance, a balanced perspective, as well as the art of supporting examples. Let's look at each one of them in more details. Number 1 is embrace authenticity. Authenticity forms the foundation of successful behavioral assessment. As a candidate, make sure to be true to yourself and present honest responses that genuinely reflect your personality, values, and work style. I recommend that you avoid the temptation of molding your answers to align with prospective expectations, and instead emphasize your strengths while acknowledging areas of growth. Number 2 principle is cultivate self-awareness. Self-awareness is the key to understanding and articulating your behavioral tendencies. Take a moment to showcase your unique characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses. More than just understanding yourself in isolation, consider how your attributes contribute to collaborative work environment. Number 3 principle is tailor your responses for job relevance. To truly stand out, candidate must recognize the importance of tailoring responses for specific job requirements. Before responding to each scenario, carefully analyze the job description, responsibilities, and organizational values. Make sure to align your answers with the qualities that employer is looking for and ensure that responses resonate with their expectations. Number 4 is strike a balanced perspective. While emphasizing your strengths is crucial, avoid painting the overly one-sided picture of yourself. Make sure that you strive for the balanced perspective, which would acknowledge both your positive attributes and areas of development. And also ensure that you highlight your willingness to learn, adapt, and grow. And last but not least, principle number 5 is elevate your responses with supporting examples. Concrete examples are the lifeblood of compelling behavioral assessment response. Instead of providing vague answers, back your choices with specific instances from the past experiences. Elaborate on how you successfully handled challenges, resolved conflicts, or contributed to the team accomplishments. And now, let's continue to get you ready for the assessment test. Here's an interesting question to see how well you would deal with customer service inquiries. A customer is upset because her favorite pizza is currently unavailable. What is the best way to respond? And you're presented with 4 possible choices. Choice A. Tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Choice B. Offer the customer an alternative pizza option. Choice C. Inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock. And last but not least, choice D. State that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? If not, please make sure to pause this video to see if you can come up with the answers, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to resolve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, this question is not about picking one of the choices. This question is about a fundamental customer service principles and how you use them to answer this particular question. You also want to make sure to mention all these principles when you're answering this question in person. So what are those principles? There are 4 of them. Number 1 is acknowledging the customer's disappointment. Because her favorite pizza is not available and you show empathy, this shows your understanding of her feelings. Number 2 principle is providing an immediate alternative option, which shows responsiveness and commitment to helping the customer promptly. Number 3 principle is taking responsibility for finding a solution, which exemplifies ownerships and dedication for you to help resolve customer issue. And last but not least is the principle of offering an alternative. In this case, you can offer alternative pizza, which would demonstrate a proactive approach to addressing the customer concern and finding a suitable resolution. Based on these 4 principles, let's look at the incorrect answers and why you might avoid selecting them. Choice A. Tell the customer to speak with the manager to resolve the issue. Using this selection passes the responsibility to the manager and may make customer feel ignored and dismissed, and it is important to take initiative and attempt to assist the customer directly. Choice C. Inform the customer that you will check if the desired pizza is in stock is a good choice. But this is not the best choice. While this response shows some willingness to help, it may leave the customer waiting for the solution. Offering an immediate alternative is a more proactive approach. And last incorrect choice is choice D. State that handling this matter is not within your responsibility. Telling the customer that it's not your responsibility can come across as unhelpful and may lead to further dissatisfaction. You should strive to assist the customer as much as possible within your capacity. So as you might have figured out, I believe that the correct answer to this question is choice B. Offer an alternative pizza option. By offering an alternative pizza option, you address the customer's disappointment and demonstrate willingness to help. In addition to the suggestion, you can also offer to search for her favorite pizza flavors in competitor brands. This approach helps turn a negative situation into a positive one, where you learn more about the customer and find the proactive solution as possible suitable alternative. What do you think about this question? Do you agree with this solution? Do you have a better way to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at the sample questions for cognitive test, which represents an assessment used by employers to evaluate candidates' mental abilities such as problem solving, critical thinking, and memory. The questions in the test can vary, but typically involve math problems, logic puzzles, spatial reasoning, and verbal comprehension. Let's look at some sample cognitive assessment test questions we typically see on the test. What's interesting about this problem is that it seems unsolvable, but if you make one correct assumption, it's so easy to solve it. You're presented with the shelf of items from the coffee shop, and the items are cupcakes and cookies. There are 3 sets of items, and 2 sets have price tags associated with them, and the last set does not, and you need to calculate the price tag for the last set. The first set consists of 1 cookie and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the first set is $7. The second set consists of 2 cookies and 1 cupcake, and the price tag for the second set is $12. The last set consists of only 1 cupcake, and you need to calculate and select price for the cupcake out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $5. Choice B, $4. Choice C, $2. And last but not least, choice D, $3. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? It seems unsolvable, but the only thing you need to make is one assumption. And using this assumption, I'm going to move forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Take a close look at the first set. The first set consists of cookie and cupcake, and it costs $7. What's interesting is that the second set already includes the first set plus the cookie, which allows us to calculate the price of this extra cookie. And we can do it by subtracting 7 from 12, and the end result of it is $5, which means that the price of cookie is $5. Now we can easily calculate the price of cupcake by subtracting 5 from 7, which means that the total price of cupcake is 2. So the correct answer here is choice C, $2. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. And now I have something that maybe you were not expecting. Here's the practice question for you. You need to find the missing number, and you're presented with 4 scales. 3 scales have items on the left side and the number on the right side to make them equal. And 4th scale only has items on the left and missing number on the right in the form of question mark. You need to calculate the question mark out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 60. Choice B, 65. Choice C, 70. And then last but not least, choice D, 75. Take a close look. Maybe pause this video for 10 to 15 seconds to see if you can come up with the solution. Once you're ready, please make sure to post your answer in the comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's a very interesting question to test your spatial reasoning. You're presented with partial square, and you need to find the missing shape to build the full square. You have 4 different choices to choose from to complete the square. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. And on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you the correct solution. As you might have figured out, the correct choice here is choice D. And to get to this answer, you need to look at the shape which fits perfectly to match the edges. Since this is the 5 by 5 square, choice D is the perfect shape because it matches perfectly to create a full square. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. And now I have a question for you to test your skills. You're presented with the series of objects and you need to determine next object in the sequence. Please choose one of the following 4 choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Do you see the correct answer? Please make sure to post your version in comments. This would allow me to give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's an amazing question where we need to find the missing number. You're presented with the tree-looking like structure, and it has the numbers in the circles on the top. The numbers are, if we start from the left, 50, 216, 880, and then comes the missing number. You need to calculate and select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 1290. Choice B, 2565. Choice C, 2941. And last but not least, choice D, 3536. I'm gonna give you a quick hint. Take a close look to see what exactly do you see on this picture. And you see circles, you see stamps, and you see numbers. And here's another consideration. Do you think the fact that circles have different colors matters? Or it doesn't? Give yourself 10 to 15 seconds to see if you can figure it out. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The pattern here is rather simple, but it takes a little bit of time to detect it. If we start from the left, from the smallest number, and go clockwise, the next number is calculated as a previous value multiplied by the total number of lines plus total number of circles. Let's look at the example. The first number is 50 in the purple circle, and it's given, not calculated. The second number, though, is calculated previous number 50 multiplied by 4 plus 16, and the result of this is 216. Third number is calculated as 216 multiplied by 4 plus 16 and equals 880. Now you might be wondering what is 4 and where it came from and what is 16. The 4 is number of stem lines in this structure. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 16 is the total number of circles. If you count them, you see 4 circles on the forefront, the ones that have number and missing number. And then there are also 12 circles in the background. Now we have all of this information and we can calculate the missing number. It is calculated as 880 multiplied by 4, then we add 16, and the end result of this is 3,536. So the correct answer here is choice D, 3,536. Hopefully you've nailed this problem and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. but in case you need more challenges like this, please make sure to check out the description for additional resources. One of the most frequent questions we get on this channel is how to improve your pattern recognition skills. This is so important because it's an essential skill to help you pass an employment assessment test. Let me introduce you to one of the most common English pattern called palindromes. Palindromes is a letter-based pattern which allows you to read the same word backwards and forwards. Let's look at some key examples of the words that used in the test. For example, words radar, civic, level, a race car, henna, madam, noon, pop, eve, kayak, rotator, stats, tenet, wow, and a lot of others. Do you know any those other words, interesting palindromes that I didn't mention here? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue to get you ready for the test. Here's an absolutely phenomenal question, which is absolutely not obvious how to solve it. Instead of one question mark, you need to find two question marks. You're presented with three triangles. All triangles have a circle in the top. Blue triangle has three numbers inside. Starting from the top, the numbers are 3, 7, and 4, and number on the top is 6. Yellow triangle has numbers 2, 4, and 2, and there is a missing number on the top. Green triangle has numbers 5, 9, and 4, and missing number on the top. Take a close look to see if you can find two missing number and select out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 10 and 4. Choice B, 1 and 8. Choice C, 6 and 3. And choice D, 2 and 2. Do you know the answer? I gotta tell you, the answer is not really obvious, but I know how smart you are, and together we should be able to solve it. Are you ready? Hear me out. The pattern here is that to calculate the number on the top of the triangle, you need to use inside upper number added to the number on the right, and then you should subtract the left number. For example, for the blue triangle, which has all the numbers, the calculations will be 3 plus 7 minus 4 equals 6. For the green triangle, the calculations will be 5 plus 9 minus 4 equals 10. And for the yellow triangle, the calculations will be 2 plus 4 minus 2 equals 4. So the correct choice here is answer A, 10 and 4. Did you figure it out? Please make sure to post your answer, rationale, and thought process in comments. I get a lot of questions on how to improve your pattern recognition skills. Let me share with you 3 common patterns we frequently see on the test. Let's start with triangular numbers. Triangular numbers are the numbers that can be represented as a sum of consecutive integers starting with 1. For example, the first 5 triangular numbers would be 1, 3, 6, 10, and 15. Next one on my list are square numbers. Square numbers are the numbers that can be represented by a product of a number multiplied by itself. For example, the first 5 square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. Because 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, and 5 square is 25. And last but not least on my list are cube numbers. Cube numbers are numbers that can be represented as a product of a number multiplied by itself twice. For example, the first 5 cube numbers are 1, 8, 27, 64, and 125. Because 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64, and 5 cube is 125. Do you know any other interesting numerical patterns I didn't mention here? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue to get you ready for the test. Here's the question of intermediate complexity we frequently see on the test. You're presented with 4 shapes, and one shape has a missing number in the middle. You need to calculate the pattern and calculate the missing number, selecting it by one of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 22. Choice B, 23. Choice C, 25. And then last but not least, choice D, 24. Take a close look at the shapes and see if you can calculate the pattern. Let me share with you my logic and rationale, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to share in comments. I think the pattern here is that to calculate the middle number, you need to multiply the top two numbers and subtract 1. Then add the bottom number. Let's look at the first shape to confirm the logic. 2 multiplied by 3 minus 1 equals 5. 5 plus 2, which is the bottom number, equals the middle number, which is 7. Let's apply the same pattern to the shape with the missing number. 8 multiplied by 3 minus 1 equals 24 minus 1 equals 23. 23 plus 2 equals the missing number, which means that the missing number is 25. So the correct choice here is choice C, 25. Did you see any other patterns or found the better ways to solve it? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. One of the very frequent questions we get on this channel is how to improve your pattern recognition skills. One of the key ways is to use your imagination. You can use imagination to visualize items in your mind, and this is one of the most powerful techniques. Let's take a close look at the example. Here, you're required to build English business word, and you need to use all the letters only once. If you look closely and try to visualize and build the answer in your mind, you can mentally connect the letters and get to the correct answer, which is the word management. It might be hard to do it initially, but if you do crosswords and puzzles, you can improve your skills and get better at this with practice. Do you have any other interesting techniques that you can share? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. Here's an interesting question where you need to find the missing number. You're presented with the set of numbers 4, 9, 20, 8, 5, 14, 10, 3, and then comes the missing number. You need to select or calculate the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 4. Choice B, 11. Choice C, 13. And choice D, 34. Take a close look at this 3x3 matrix to see if you can come up with the solution. I hope by now you have a good understanding of the problem and maybe pause this video trying to solve it, because on my end I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. And the pattern here is that the manipulation with the left and the middle number calculate right column's number. Basically, in each row, the third number is the sum of half of the first number and 2 times the second number. Let's look at the specific calculations. The first row has numbers 4, 9, and 20. 4 divided by 2 plus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 2 plus 18 and equals 20, which is exactly the number in the third column. Second row contains numbers 8, 5, and 14. 8 divided by 2 plus 5 multiplied by 2 equals 4 plus 10 and equals 14. And now we are ready to calculate the missing number. 10 divided by 2 plus 3 multiplied by 2 equals 5 plus 6 and equals 11. So the correct choice here is choice B, 11. Do you have a better answer? Please make sure to share your thoughts and rationale in comments. Here's the problem for you to test your business math skills as well as attention to details. You need to calculate the value by multiplying number of coins in the cent clock by the number of dollar signs. You need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 190. Choice B, 200. Choice C, 210. And last but not least, choice D, 230. Once you complete the calculations, please make sure to post your answer and calculations in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's a rather unexpected question you might frequently see on the test. You need to determine during which period revenue declined, and you're presented with the profit and loss chart that covers periods from 2018 to 2024. On the chart, you see 3 lines representing revenue, expenses, and taxes. And you need to select the final answer out of 4 different choices. Choice A, the period between 2018 and 2020. Choice B, the period between 2019 and 2020. Choice C, the period between 2020 and 2021. And choice D, the period between 2023 and 2024. Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. I'm pretty sure that by now you found it, but I'm going to move forward and reveal you my version of the solution anyway. And if you know the better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The way I see it is that the revenue goes down between the period of 2020 and 2021, which is represented by the blue line. In 2020, the revenue was about 9.5 units, and then in 2021, it went down to approximately 8.5 units. All other highlighted periods in the question indicate revenue increases. Did you see it differently? Please make sure to post your answer in comments. In this section, we will look at the sample questions for verbal reasoning test for employment, which typically represents an assessment used by employers to measure candidates' ability to comprehend and analyze written information. The questions typically involve reading passages, answering questions based on the information presented, as well as identifying relationships between words and understanding the vocabulary. Let's look at some sample questions that you typically see on the test to make sure you get ready. Here's the question you will definitely enjoy solving. You're presented with 8 letters, and you need to determine the next letter in the sequence. The letters you see are D, J, F, M, A, M, J, J, and then comes the missing letter, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, J, choice B, A, choice C, F, and choice D, M. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I'm going to give you a quick hint. Try to solve the pattern by thinking about Christmas, and then New Year, and then think what comes next. I hope this hint was helpful, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, the sequence represents the first letters of each month, starting from December. This is why I started with Christmas. Then comes January. This is why I mentioned New Year. Then February, March, April, May, June, July, and as you might have guessed, the next month would be August, which starts with A. So the correct answer here is choice B, A. I truly hope that you came up with the correct version of the answer on your own, and if you didn't, learn how to answer similar problems on the test. Admit it or not, but deciphering this question is like teaching a penguin to fly. A real flap, but once you soar through, it's a flight of an accomplishment. I wonder if these questions are secretly evaluating our ability to navigate unconventional situations. You're presented with the circle, which contains letters inside. 3 letters are missing. You need to build English business word by selecting 3 possible letters. For choice A, the letters are A, Y, and Y. For choice B, the letters are A, E, Y. For choice C, the letters are E, T, O. And for choice D, the letters are A, and Y. Feeling challenged? It's okay, you're not alone. I feel the same way. Whether you're a seasoned solver or casual questions explorer, I have faith in your problem-solving abilities. Give it the time it deserves, think outside the box, and watch the pieces fall into place. I have full confidence that you've got what it takes. Are you ready with your solution? Still not ready? Let me give you a hint. This word represents a comprehensive plan that outlines organizations' long-term goals and objectives, along with actions and tactics required to achieve them. I'm pretty sure you've got this now. The word is strategy. Strategy involves making decisions how to allocate resources, such as people, capital, and time, to gain a competitive advantage in the market. So the missing letters are A, E, and Y, and the correct choice here is B. With this question, it's pretty clear that explaining data analytics to your grandma is like decoding a complex algorithm with a punchline. The interpretation might be fuzzy, but the laughter is always in the regression. You're presented with 4 words, and you need to determine the one that is misspelled. The words are choice A, concatenation, choice B, normalization, choice C, aggregation, and last but not least, choice D, duplication. Feel that you stumbled upon a tough task? Well, it's not one of those your grandma questions. I can tell you this, it's a serious data analytics business, but you are not alone in this journey. Whether you're a problem-solving veteran or newcomer, I believe in your capabilities. Take a moment to reflect, tap into your creativity, and let's tackle this challenge together. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready with your answer? Let's move forward so we can sync up the solutions. To be able to best answer this question, let's understand the meaning of each word. Concatenation stands for merging or combining two or more things, such as datasets or strings, into a single entity. Normalization is adjusting and scaling data to a standard format or range for consistent analysis. Aggregation is summarizing or combining data to obtain overall insights or totals. And last but not least, duplication is creating identical copies of data or records within a dataset. I am pretty sure you figured it by now. The misspelled word is choice C, aggregation. The correct spelling is A-G-G, two G's here in this word, R-E-G-A-T-I-O-N. Let's dive into the world of letters with this amazingly tricky question that not only evaluates your English alphabet knowledge, but also tests your analytical skills and your strategies for tackling challenges effectively. You're presented with 3x3 matrix. The matrix has letters inside. The first row has letters A, B, and D. The second row has letters B, D, and F. And then the third row has letters D, F, and then comes the missing letter, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, H. Choice B, D. Choice C, F. And last but not least, choice D, K. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I mentioned that this question is a little tricky, so let me give you a hint. Take a close look and consider why would some boxes, some squares in the matrix would be in gray and some would be in white. Was it helpful? I hope it was. I've unlocked my answer and I'm excited to unveil some hints for you to share the answer. Let's explore the solution together. And obviously, if you've came up with the different and more creative alternative solution or tips how to solve these types of challenges effectively, make sure to post them in comments. To answer this question correctly, let's look at our matrix from a little different dimension. Each letter here corresponds to a specific place in the alphabet, which can be represented by the number. For example, letter A equals 1, letter B 2, C 3, and etc. If we follow this logic, we can replace all letters in all 3 rows with the numbers. So for the first row, the numbers will be 1, 2, and 4. For the second row, the numbers would be 2, 4, and 6. And for the third row, the numbers will be 4 and 6, and then would be the missing number. The next step is to determine what's happening with the numbers and how to calculate the missing number. Remember I gave you a hint? Hope you figured it out, because numbers in the white squares here are the result of addition of numbers in the gray squares. Let's look at the example. For example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6. This is how the numbers in the white squares of the second row are calculated. 2 plus 4 equals 6. This is the result of the calculation in the third row, which would mean that the missing number on the intersection of 4 and 4 will be calculated as addition of 4 plus 4, which would be equal to 8. So the correct answer here is choice A, H, because H is the letter that corresponds to the number 8. Here's an amazing question to test your verbal reasoning and analytical skills. You need to arrange the words into a coherent sentence and determine the last word in this sentence. The words are A, coverage, B, protects, C, against, D, financial, E, losses, F, business, G, risks. Take a close look, see if you can build this sentence and determine the last word in this sentence. Did you figure it out? I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To get to the correct answer, let's look at each word in this sentence to determine the meaning of the word and how to use it correct way. We start with the words coverage, business, and risks. These are not the objects of the sentence. We also look at the against and financial. These are prepositions and adjectives. The word protects is the verb and it provides valuable information in the sentence. The word losses is the object of the sentence and it provides information about what business insurance protects against. Based on this information, let's build a sentence. Business insurance protects against financial losses. Based on this, we can determine that the last word in the sentence is losses. And this is the object of the sentence, and it also provides a specific type of protection. So I believe the correct answer here is choice E, losses. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's an amazing question which tests your logical reasoning and verbal reasoning skills. You're presented with 3 verbal statements, and you need to determine if the final statement is true. The first statement is, most small businesses are family-owned. The second statement is, most family-owned businesses are profitable. And the last statement, most small businesses are profitable. Is this statement true? You need to select out of 3 possible choices. Choice A, yes. Choice B, no. And last but not least, choice C is uncertain. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer here is A, yes, which means that most small businesses are profitable, and this is the accurate statement. Which means that the statement, most small businesses are profitable, is true. Let me explain you why. If most small businesses are family-owned, and most family-owned businesses are profitable, then it stands to reason that most small businesses are also profitable. What's interesting to note about this question is that answer C, uncertain, might also be accurate, and some test systems might be configured to accept it as the accurate answer. And the main reason is that the relationship between the statements are unclear, or if there's insufficient information to make logical conclusions, you can answer uncertain. Was your answer different? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. I love this question because the answer represents such a powerful business concept. You're presented with 10 letters, and you need to build English business word by using each letter only once. The letters are N, I-N, A-V-O, and I-T-O. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. I am going to give you a quick hint. The word refers to the process of introducing new ideas, products, services, or processes that add value to society, the economy, or organizations. Did you figure it out? I hope the hint was helpful because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, as usual, please make sure to post in comments. My answer is innovation, and the word is spelled as I-N-N-O-V-A-T-I-O-N. What's interesting is that innovation involves combining creativity, technology, and practicality to develop new solutions that meet people's needs and address emerging challenges. Innovation is also crucial for the growth and development of the businesses, economies, and societies, and it drives competitiveness, productivity, and progress. Let's look at the examples of the most recent consumer innovations. Number 1 is streaming services. The popularity of streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus disrupted the traditional TV industry by offering on-demand access to the vast library of movies and TV shows. The fact that I can broadcast my videos and share them with you directly is also part of streaming services innovation. The next one on my list is electric cars. The development of electric cars by companies such as Tesla, Nissan, and Chevrolet has provided consumers with a more sustainable and energy-efficient alternative to traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. Another example of recent innovation is wearable technology. The emergence of wearable technologies such as smartwatches, fitness trackers, and virtual reality headsets had powered people to track their health and fitness, stay connected, and experience immersive digital content. We also recently enjoyed innovation of online marketplaces. Companies such as Amazon, eBay, and Etsy revolutionized the way people shop by providing them with vast selection of products, competitive prices, and fast delivery options. And last but not least on my list is the smart home technology. The rise of smart home technology allowed people to control and automate various aspects of their homes, from lighting and temperature to security and entertainment, using voice commands and mobile apps. Do you know any other examples of recent innovations? Please make sure to share them in comments so we can all learn. There's no better question to boost your IQ and brain power. You're presented with 3 expressions, and you need to find the missing item in the third expression. The first expression is B plus D equals F. The second expression is Z minus W equals C. And the third expression is D multiplied by E equals missing item. And you need to find and select the missing item out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, T. Choice B, S. Choice C, U. And last but not least, choice D, I. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the missing item. I'm going to give you a quick hint here. To solve this challenge, you need to know English alphabet. But it's one of the simplest alphabets available with only 26 letters. Are you ready? Let's move forward, so I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, you really need to have a good understanding of English alphabet. And not just the alphabet, but also analytically understand that you can assign a number for each letter of the alphabet. I already mentioned that there are 26 letters in English alphabet, and this is probably one of the first things you study when you study English. So the letters would be A, B, C, D, and so on. And you can go forward, and for each letter, you can assign the number. For example, letter A will get associated with number 1. Letter B will be associated with number 2. C with 3, D with 4, E with 5, and you can continue up to the letter Z, which would be associated with number 26. With this cross-reference, let's see if we can get a better conversion between letters and numbers. For example, expression B plus D equals F, in reality, after conversion, would be 2 plus 4 equals 6, which makes mathematical sense. Let's look at the second one. Z minus W equals C would in reality be equal 26, which is the number associated with letter Z, minus 23, which is the number associated with letter W, which would be equal to 3. So the last expression, D multiplied by E, in reality would be equal 4 multiplied by 5, and would be equal to 20, which is associated with the letter T. So the correct answer here is choice A, T. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's an amazing question to test your English business vocabulary. You need to build English business word using all the letters presented on the screen, and you only need to use each letter once. The letters are G-O-I, S-L-T, I-C-S. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Because I want you to succeed so much, I'm going to give you a quick hint. The word represents the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the movements of storage of goods or materials from the point of origin to the point of consumption. Did you figure it out? I'm going to move forward and share with you my version of the answer. But if you have a better way or alternative way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The answer is logistics. The word is spelled as L-O-G-I-S-T-I-C-S. To get better at solving these types of challenges, try to visualize the word and try different combinations. For example, if you look at original 9 letters, you will see that if we start from the middle, you can start building the word L-O-G, and then you build the remainder of the word to get to the correct answer. Do you have any other tips, tricks, or techniques that can help you solve these types of challenges? Please make sure to post them in comments. In this section, we will look at the logical reasoning questions that are used to evaluate candidates' ability to reason and draw logical conclusions from the information given. The questions on this type of test typically involve sequences of shapes and numbers, analogies, and deductive reasoning questions. Let's look at some sample logical reasoning assessment test questions to get you prepared. Here's a puzzling question for you, but I have full confidence that you can solve it quickly. You're presented with 4x4 matrix, and the numbers are starting in the upper left corner 9834. The second row numbers are 292, and then comes the missing number. The third row starts with 4620, and last but not least row is 7, 6, 2, and 6. You need to calculate the missing number, and you have 4 different choices to select from. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 5. Choice C, 6. And last but not least, choice D, 7. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Did you get to the right answer? I hope you did, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. You're probably tired of hearing this on this channel, but to solve these types of challenges, you need to detect the pattern. And the pattern here is that the last 2 digits are equal to the sum of the first 2 digits multiplied by 2. Let's look at the example. The first row contains numbers 9834. And the expression here is that 9 plus 8 in parentheses multiplied by 2 equals 34. Based on this logic, the third number would be 4 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 20, which represents the set of numbers 4, 6, and then 20. And then the last row would be 7 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be 13 multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 26. So the missing number would be calculated as 2 plus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 22. So the correct answer here is choice A, 2. Did you get to the same answer? If you didn't, or maybe you got to a different answer, please make sure to post your version in comments. Here's a tricky problem which some might find challenging, but you, being a subscriber to this channel, will solve very easily. You're presented with 3 expressions. Each expression is of a different color. And one of the items in the third expression, which represented by the blue color, is missing. You need to select the missing item, which is currently question mark, out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Consider pausing this video to see if you need more time to find the solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve any challenge, the key is to find the pattern. And this question is no exception. The pattern here is rather unusual, but it still exists. And the pattern here is that there are 3 core shapes represented by objects in the first column. The core objects here are arrow pointing up, star, and the circle. And all remaining objects are just the variations which is created by merging core objects into another object. Let me demonstrate by starting with the red sequence. Red sequence is created by starting with arrow, merging arrow with the star, and then merging the result with the circle. Yellow expression is created by starting with the star, merging it with the circle, and then merging the result with the arrow. And last but not least, blue sequence starts with the circle, completes the merger with the star, and then missing item can be created by doing another merger with the arrow. As you might have noticed, the objects here presented as expressions instead of being a sequence. There's no other reason to do it than just to confuse you. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please post your ideas, solution, and rationale in comments. I love this challenge because it tests your analytical skills and spatial reasoning skills so well. You need to find the resulting shape after the transformations. You're presented with the square that consists of different triangles of a different color. And you need to turn the original shape 90-degree clockwise 3 times. You have 4 different choices to select the shape after the transformations. Choice A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the final solution. Did you figure it out? Because I am moving forward to share with you my version and my way of solving it. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, you need to mentally turn the original shape 90 degrees 3 times. This is not easy to do because our brain is not really designed for this. But if we take one of the triangles and try to follow this triangle by turning the original square, this task might be much easier to accomplish. The caveat here is that we need to select triangles that are not symmetrical on both sides. For example, red triangles are symmetrical. You see red triangles on the left and red triangles on the right. And if we try to follow it, it would be extremely hard to detect where the red triangle will end up. But if we take green triangles, any one of them, or yellow triangles, they're much easier to follow. So let's do the turning. Let's take the original square, and I am going to follow the green triangle on the left. Let's do the first turn 90 degrees. You see that the green triangle ended up on the top. Let's do another turn. We follow the same green triangle, and now it's on the right side. And the last 90-degree turn, our green triangle ended up at the bottom. So the correct choice here is choice A, where green triangle ended up on the bottom. Do you have a better way to solve it? Or maybe did you come up with a different solution? Please make sure to post your thoughts and rationale in comments. Here's a very interesting question which might make you think, but hopefully you will get it very quickly. If 5 people can sew 5 shirts in 5 minutes, how long will it take for 100 people to sew 100 shirts? You're presented with 4 different choices. Choice A, 500 minutes. Choice B, 100 minutes. Choice C, 5 minutes. And last but not least, choice D, 60 minutes. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can get to the right answer. And on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Here's the trick. If 5 people can sew 5 shirts in 5 minutes, we can say that one person can sew a shirt in 5 minutes. Now, if 100 people work together, their combined productivity will be 100 that of one person. Because we can scale up so easily in this production, it will take 100 people 5 minutes to sew 100 shirts. So the correct answer here is choice C, 5 minutes. Did you get to the same answer? If you didn't, please make sure to share your answer and rationale in comments. I love this question because it is used very frequently to test your analytical skills and business math skills. You're presented with 3 expressions. The first expression is candy multiplied by sun equals 15. Second expression is candy plus 4 equals 9. And third and last expression is 12 equals sun multiplied by question mark. And you need to find this question mark and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 3. Choice C, 4. And choice D, 5. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? I think you might benefit from a quick hint. And my hint to you would be, take a look at the middle expression. Are you ready now? Let's move forward, and I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. This set of expressions looks unsolvable. But in reality, if we start with the middle expression, we can actually solve it. Let me demonstrate. Let's start with the expression candy plus 4 equals 9. Believe it or not, but we can actually calculate it. Candy would be equal 9 minus 4, and we can calculate the value for candy, which would be equal to 5. Now, knowing the value of candy, let's focus on the top expression. Candy plus sun equals 15. We know that the value of candy is 5, and when we substitute candy, it would be equal 5 multiplied by sun equals 15. So the calculated value for the sun would be 3. And now we can focus on the last expression. 12 equals sun multiplied by question mark. We know that the value of sun is 3, and we can substitute it, and the new expression will be 12 equals 3 multiplied by question mark. Question mark can be calculated by 12 divided by 4. So the end result would be answer C, 4. If you came up with the different answer, please post your answer and solution in comments. I enjoy solving pattern questions because they're so easy to understand, but sometimes not so easy to solve. We're presented with the sequence of numbers, and we need to find the missing number, which is the next in the sequence. The numbers are 25, 20, 16, 13, 11, and then comes the missing number. You need to calculate the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Choice A is 8, choice B is 10, choice C is 7, and choice D is 9. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations and come up with the solution for the missing number. It looks confusing, isn't it? But believe me, there is a hope at the end of the tunnel. And I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Here we have a concept of decrement. And the pattern is that the next number is calculated as previous number minus decrement. And decrement increases by 1 with each number in the sequence. Let's take a close look. Our first number in the sequence is 25. And our first initial decrement is minus 5. 25 minus 5 equals 20. And this is how we come to the second number. Then we decrease decrement by 1, and the decrement becomes minus 4. 20 minus 4 equals 16. 16 minus 3 equals 13. 13 minus 2 equals 11. And 11 minus 1 equals 10. So the correct answer here is choice B, 10. Was your answer different? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments then, so we can all learn. This is one of my favorite questions just because it's so unusual. But the answer here is very simple. You're presented with the set of 8 circles. 6 of these circles are visible, and you need to select 2 missing ones. You have 4 different choices to find the missing circles. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Ready or not, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To answer this question, we need to detect the pattern. And the pattern here is very simple. Each circle is broken down into sections, with darker sections and lighter sections. And if you look closely, you will see that all circles are grouped in pairs. And the pattern is hidden in the sequence for circle pairs, with each subsequent pair being similar to the previous one. Let's take a close look. To better understand the pattern, let's give each circle a unique number. If we start with the top row of circles, the numbers would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom row circles will have numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8, with 7 and 8 being our missing pair. If you look closely at the circle 1, you will see that there is a dark section at the 2 o'clock. And circle 2 has 2 dark sections, one at noon and another one is at 2 o'clock. Similar pattern you see in circles 3 and 4, and then circles 5 and 6 also mimic the same pattern. Looking at possible answers, you see the choices A, B, C do not meet this pattern, and the only right answer that fits the pattern is choice D. Hopefully you've got to the same conclusion, and if you didn't, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's the very interesting drum problem, which I have full confidence that you will solve very quickly. You're presented with 3 drums, and the next drum in the sequence is missing. You need to select the next drum out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? You would be surprised how simple the answer is. And that's why I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, we need to understand the pattern, and the pattern will help us get to the correct solution. Even though drums and drumsticks look similar, this is not the case. If you look closely, you will see that only drumsticks are the same, but drums are different because they have dotted designs on each drum. Let me assign a unique number to each drum in the sequence. We will reference these drums as 1, 2, 3, and then the missing drum we will reference as number 4. Let's look closely at drum number 1. On the top of the drum 1, dotted pattern consists only of the white dots, but as it continues, you see different colors. Let's follow these colors. We have white, yellow, blue, pink, purple, and green. If we go to drum number 2, you see that the dotted pattern shifts as it goes from left to right, and then this pattern restarts. For example, the last dot in the drum 1 is green, but then in drum 2, this green dot restarts the pattern. To get to the correct answer, we need to continue shifting the pattern and get to the correct pattern for drum number 4. And the correct pattern for drum number 4 will be pink, purple, green, white, yellow, and blue. And drum that matches this pattern will be choice C. Did you get to the correct solution? If not, please make sure to post your solution and rationale in comments. I love this question because it tests your spatial reasoning and analytical skills so well. You're presented with overlapping set of objects. We have in the picture pink square, red star, gray circle, yellow star, green circle, blue box, and pink diamond. In the middle of the picture, we have a gap where nothing is presented, and this gap is represented by the question mark. You need to fill the gap with one of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look at the picture to see if you can fill the gap and find the missing object. I'm pretty sure you got it because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The correct answer here is choice C. Let's confirm and verify it by moving this choice to fill the gap. To solve these types of challenges, you need to mentally build the object in your head by continuing to visualize in your head one of the existing objects in the picture. I used green circle. It is very obvious which choice would continue the green circle. But you can also use yellow star, blue square, or pink square. Do you know any other ways how to solve these problems? Please make sure to post your ideas on how to better solve them in comments. Here's the very interesting question, which is frequently used to test your analytical reasoning and spatial reasoning. You're presented with the set of objects, and you need to find the missing item. The set of objects consists of 3 rows. In the first row, you see the pigeon, arrow, and then the pigeon again. In the second row, you see the flower, arrow, and then the flower again. Then in the third row, you see the car, the arrow, and then comes the missing item. You need to select the missing item out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. If you can't figure it out, consider pausing this video to see if you can get to the answer. Are you ready? I am moving forward to share with you my version and my rationale for the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, or if you have a better explanation, please make sure to post in comments. The actual answer to the question is very simple, but the question was designed to confuse you. The objects that you see on the left of the arrow and on the right of the arrow are reflections of each other. What's interesting here is that the objects are mirror images reflected either horizontally or vertically. You determine the axis of reflection based not on the direction of the arrow, but based on the direction which is rotated 90 degrees to the direction actually shown. Let's look at the actual example. Because the direction of the first arrow in the first row goes from top to bottom, the pigeon actually is reflected horizontally, not vertically. And to get to the correct answer, you need to rotate the pigeon 180 degrees. Let's look at the second object. We see the flowers with the yellow flower being on the left. And once we do the conversion, basically vertical reflection, because the arrow goes from left to right, we see that the yellow flower is now on the right. So the pattern here is that the arrow points to perpendicular direction of the actual reflection. For example, vertical direction of the arrow results in horizontal reflection and vice versa. Let's look at the third row to get to the correct answer. Because arrow goes from top to bottom, we need to use horizontal reflection, which means that the correct answer here is choice A. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. In this section, we will look at Microsoft Word assessment test questions, which evaluate candidates' proficiency and skills in using this widely used Microsoft Office application. Word assessment test aims to determine candidates' familiarity with the software itself, including its various features, tool and formatting options. Let's look at some sample Microsoft Word assessment test questions we typically see on the test. Here's the thought-provoking assessment test question. In addition to boosting your reasoning skills, it teaches you the skill that you can use regularly. You need to gather the data and information from multiple different sources, like emails, web pages, spreadsheets, and documents. Which feature of Microsoft Word should you use to complete this task? And you're presented with 5 possible choices. Choice A, paste link. Choice B, paste special. Choice C, paste merged content. Choice D, paste multiple. And last but not least, choice E, paste append. Take a close look to see if you can recognize the right feature of Microsoft Word. Are you ready to uncover the mystery? Let's move on so I can share how I cracked the solution. And if you got a unique method or better way, I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to share your approach in the comments below. Let's reveal the solution now. And as usual, to find the right solution, we will assess each answer choice that has been presented. Let's start with the first choice on the list. As you might have guessed, choice A, paste link, is incorrect. Paste link is used to insert a link to content copied from another location, not to collect the data and information from various sources. Choice B, paste special, is also incorrect. Paste special allows you to choose specific formatting or data types when pasting content, but it's not the appropriate feature to collect data from various sources. Both choices C, paste merged content, and choice E, paste append, are not correct options either. Both of them are not the standard features of Microsoft Word and are not relevant for collecting data from various sources. Which leads us to correct option, choice D, paste multiple items from Clipboard. This is the correct option. Paste multiple items allows you to paste multiple pieces of content that has been copied to the clipboard, making it an efficient way to collect the data and information from various sources. Let's look at how this feature works in details. For example, you might be working on the product catalog and your information is located in different sources, like this Word document, and some information might be stored in the email message you just received. You need to copy and paste multiple pieces of information into the product catalog Word file. To do this, let's check the clipboard settings by clicking on the Clipboard Details button. As you can see, there is nothing currently in the clipboard. Let's check the options on how we can collect the data. To do this, let's click on the Options button, and you see that the clipboard will collect without showing any Office clipboard. You can also choose options Show Office Clipboard automatically or Show Office Clipboard when Ctrl-C pressed twice. Let's copy the product description from the Word file. To do this, let's select the description and click Copy. Now let's copy product image and dimensions from the email. To do this, let's select the image and click Copy. Then let's select the dimensions and click Copy again. Now it's time to come back to our Word document. We're back to the product catalog, and as you can see, there are 3 items in the clipboard now. We can paste them one by one. Let's put the cursor where the description is and select on the description to paste it. Now let's move to the dimensions section and we can paste the dimensions in here. And last but not least piece is the image. We put it as the first item in the product catalog. The only thing is left is to change how the image is shown. We click on the layout options and select the tight option for the text wrapping. Here's the very stimulating assessment test question. It boosts your analytical skills and enhances your ability to approach complex problems using Microsoft tools very effectively. You need to create a report by selecting specific short snippets of content from larger Microsoft Word document and adding them into the report. Which word feature is the most effective for this task? You're presented with 5 possible choices. Choice A, styles and headings. Choice B, navigation pane. Choice C, spike. Choice D, find and replace. And last but not least, choice E, table of content. Take a close look, analyze the question, and select your answer. Are you ready to compare solutions? Awesome! Let's now transition into revealing the answer. I'll share with you my take on the solution, and if you come up with the different or perhaps more efficient approach, feel free to drop it in comments below. Let's explore the solution together. To get to the correct answer, let's review each presented option individually. Let's start with the option A, styles and headings. As you might have guessed, this is an incorrect option. While styles and headings are useful for formatting and structuring a document, they don't involve selection and reallocation of specific content, making them less effective for this particular task. For very similar reasons, choice B, navigation pane, is also incorrect. The navigation pane is helpful for browsing and organizing the document, but unfortunately this option does not specifically involve cutting and pasting of selecting content, making it less suitable for the task described. Choice D, find and replace, is also incorrect. The find and replace option in Microsoft Word is used to search for specific text and replace it with other text, but this option does not involve the selection and reallocation of content. And as you might have guessed, choice E, table of content, is also incorrect. Table of content is a very useful feature in Microsoft Word, and it is used for creating an organized list of headings and subheadings in a document. But unfortunately, it is not intended for selecting and moving specific content within the document. Which leads us to choice C, spike, which I believe is correct. Spike is an unknown feature in Microsoft Word which represents a storage similar to Clipboard. The storage is designed to cut multiple blocks of text or other content and paste them elsewhere in the document or into another Microsoft Word file. I think this is an efficient tool for selecting a specific content and organizing it within the report. Let's take a close look to see how spike feature works. You are presented with the text that contains multiple paragraphs. You reviewed the text and you determined that selective sentences in this text are very good content for the future report. To select the text for the report, you need to select it and then click Ctrl F3. This cuts the text and puts it into the spike. Let's do it for a couple other sentences that might be useful for the report. We select the second sentence and click again Ctrl F3, and then another sentence and click Ctrl F3. Now let's switch to a new Microsoft Word document so we can paste the content. There are multiple ways to paste it. Let's go to Insert tab, then navigate to Quick Parts, Auto Text, and this is where you see the content of the spike, and by clicking it, you will paste it directly into the new file. Let's undo this action, and I'll show you the quick shortcut that allows you to do the same thing. You can click Ctrl-Shift-F3, and it will paste the text directly by using the shortcut in the keyboard. So the correct answer here is choice C, using spike feature of Microsoft Word. If you came up with the different or perhaps more efficient approach, feel free to drop it in comments so we can all learn. Let me share with you a tricky question we see on the test more and more often. To prepare a sample file for an employee training session, you need to generate unique text for each student in the class using Microsoft Word. What is the best way to do it? And you're presented with 5 different options. Choice A, use word formula. Choice B, copy and paste. Choice C, auto text and building blocks. Choice D, autocorrect. And last but not least, choice E, mail merge. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Tricky question, don't you think so? Well, I think I know what my answer is going to be, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments so we can all learn. To answer this question, let's analyze all the options to understand why they might be incorrect. Let's start by looking at option B, copy and paste. It is true that you can generate new text by copying content from another document or another source, for example, website or another Word document, and then pasting it into your Word document. You can use Ctrl-C to copy and Ctrl-V to paste. However, this option is not ideal for generating unique text for each student and may pose copyright issues. I think option C, auto text and building blocks, is also incorrect. Microsoft Word has a feature called auto text. It is also called building blocks in the new versions. And this feature allows you to store and insert frequently used text or context snippets with just a few clicks. While it can be convenient for inserting predefined text, it does not generate unique text for each student. Choice D, autocorrect, is also not a good choice. Autocorrect is the feature that corrects common misspellings and can be used to create shortcuts for longer phrases. But unfortunately, it does not generate unique text for each student. I think mail merge is also incorrect. Mail merge is useful for generating customized documents by merging data from spreadsheet or database into predefined templates. However, it's not suitable for generating unique text for each student for the training session. Which brings us to option A, use word formula. Microsoft Word has a formula called RAND, and if you type it and hit enter, by default it will generate 5 paragraphs of 3 sentences each. This cool feature is also called placeholder text. The generated text is localized for your language selection. What's interesting is that the text is localized for your language selection on your computer. To customize your text, you type RAND and enter number of paragraphs and number of sentences, and then hit enter. For example, if you type rand 7, 5, it will generate the text for 7 paragraphs with 5 sentences each. You can also use lorem function to generate non-localized pseudo-Latin text in Microsoft Word. What's amazing about this question is that you will not just learn the answer, but you will also learn about new features of the application. Here's the question. You're collaborating with colleagues to create the final version of Microsoft Word document. Multiple versions of text exist, and you want to preserve each version. Which word feature is the most effective for this task? And you're presented with 5 possible choices. Choice A, File Properties. Choice B, Hide Text. Choice C, Document Comparison. Choice D, Comments. And last but not least, Choice E, Track Changes. Take a close look to see if you can answer this question. I think I know what my answer is going to be, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have thoughts or different feedback or suggestions, please make sure to post them in comments. To get to the correct answer, let's analyze each option to determine if it is correct. Let's start by looking at choice A, File Properties. I think using the Properties features in Word, you can add version information, comments, or other metadata to the document's file properties. I think this is a helpful feature to manage different versions of the document, but it does not preserve the text itself. So I think this is an incorrect choice. Let's look at choice C, Document Comparison. I think this choice is also incorrect. Microsoft Word offers a built-in document comparison feature, which allows you to compare 2 versions of the document and highlight differences between them. While this is helpful for tracking changes, it doesn't directly preserve multiple versions of the text within the same document. I think choice D, Comments, is also incorrect. You can insert comments at specific points in the document to provide feedback or suggestions. Comments serve as annotations, but don't preserve distinct versions of the text itself. And I hope it doesn't come to you as a surprise that choice E, Track Changes, is also incorrect. This feature of Microsoft Word records edits made by collaborations and facilitates reviewing and accepting or rejecting changes. It does help with version control, but it does not inherently preserve multiple versions of the text for the future reference. This brings us to the answer of choice B, Hide Text. What's interesting, Microsoft Word allows you to hide the text, making it appear as if it isn't there while preserving it for the later use. This feature is very useful when you want to maintain different versions of content within the same document, and it also applies to images and embedded components. There's one limitation of this function because it's available in Word on the desktop, but not in Word Online or Word apps for Android or iOS. Because hiding the text is such a useful feature, let's take a look how you can use it in more details. Let's assume that you're editing this text and you're not happy with the text in this paragraph. What you can do, you can select the text, click the details in the font section of the ribbon, and click Hidden to hide this text. If you have the image in your text, you can hide it in the same way. You just select the text and the image, or just the image, navigate to the Font Properties section, and click Hidden. To unhide it, you follow the opposite steps. Click on the Properties. To view hidden text, you click on the Show Hide button in the ribbon. As you can see, the text that we hide is underlined with the dotted line. This is the example of the hidden text, as well as this is also an example of the hidden text with the image. What's cool is that you can use Word's Find and Replace option to search for the hidden text. You click on the Replace button, and then you click on More. Here, in Format section, you select the font, and here you select Find Hidden Text. Then you click Find Next, and Word keeps searching for the hidden text. What's cool is that Word also allows you to delete all hidden text at once, for example, before you send out the final version of the document. To do this, you navigate to the File, Info, and then check for Issues, and select Inspect Document. Here in the section, you can specifically select items you're looking for, but also focus on the hidden text, which would inspect the document for the text that has been formatted as hidden. So I believe the correct answer here is choice B, Hide Text. In cases where you need to track changes, obtain feedback, or manage versions, features like track changes or comments may be more appropriate. But in this particular case, for maintaining different versions within a single document while keeping them hidden until needed. Hide text is a very cool and effective option. Do you disagree? If you do, please make sure to share your thoughts, solution, and rationale in comments. Let's dive into this captivating assessment test question. By working through this, you will improve your ability to think logically and make sound decisions in Microsoft Word. As a marketing manager for a United States-based company, you are customizing Microsoft Word-based catalog for European distribution. What is the most efficient way to convert units of measure, like inches, pounds, and others, to the metric format in Microsoft Word? You're presented with 5 possible answers. Choice A, formulas. Choice B, using functions. Choice C, using autocorrect. Choice D, equations. And last but not least, choice E, cross-reference. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Let's go ahead and transition into showcasing the solution. I'm about to share how I approach the question. And if you got the better methods, or maybe brilliant alternative, make sure to share it in comments. Let's examine each provided answer option to identify the accurate solution. Let's start with the option A. I think formulas are used for mathematical calculations, but they are not the most efficient way to convert units of measure to the metric format in Microsoft Word. In fact, formulas typically involve arithmetic operations and are not designed for unit conversion. Choice B, function, is also incorrect. The term function in this context is vague and doesn't directly relate to converting units of measure to the metric format. It does not align with the most efficient methods for this specific task. I think choice D, equation, is also incorrect. Equations in Microsoft Word are used for mathematical or algebraic expressions. While they can handle unit conversions theoretically, they are not designed for the specific tasks of converting units of measure to the metric format. And I hope you're not surprised that choice E, cross-reference, is also incorrect. Cross-referencing is a tool used to link and refer to specific content within the document, such as figures, tables, or headings. It is unrelated to converting units of measure to the metric format. This analysis leads us to choice C, autocorrect. Microsoft Word's autocorrect feature can be used to automatically correct and replace predefined abbreviations or symbols with their corresponding metric units. This is an extremely efficient way to convert units of measure to the metric format. To access Measurement Converter, you need to navigate to Word Options and then click on Proofing. Here you need to click on Autocorrect Options and navigate to Actions. Once you click OK on all of these changes and then select the dimensions 5 inches, additional menu item becomes available, which is represented by additional actions. So now you can convert 5 inches into 12.7 centimeters. Similar functionality becomes available on the weight category. You select 0.37 pounds, navigate to additional actions, and you can convert them to 0.17 kilograms. In this section, we will look at the PowerPoint hiring assessment test questions that assess candidates' familiarity with its features, tools, formatting options, and efficiency in creating and editing of the presentations. PowerPoint test includes a variety of tasks and questions related to different aspects of PowerPoint to gauge candidates' capabilities and proficiency with the application. Let's look at some common sample PowerPoint test questions we typically see on the test. Let's explore this cool and intellectually stimulating assessment test question together. You're presented with the picture, and you need to determine what would be the most effective method to accomplish this transformation in PowerPoint. You have 5 possible choices. Choice A, using fade animation. Choice B, using motion path. Choice C, using enhanced morph. Choice D, using picture format. And last but not least, choice E, using effect options. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Let's seamlessly transition into revealing of the solution, because I'm thrilled to present you how I tackled the problem. And if you got a smart choice that you selected, please share it in comments. To get to the correct answer, let's look at different options presented in this question to determine why they might be incorrect. Let's start with the choice A, fade animation. This option involves fading in and out, but it does not provide the same fluid transformation we're looking for. Choice B, motion path, is also incorrect. While motion path can create movement, motion path does not offer same precise logo transformation as we're looking for. Choice D, picture format, is also incorrect. This option relates to formatting of the images, but it does not directly support logo transformation. And you're probably not surprised that choice E, effect options, is also incorrect. Effect option provides adjustments to animation effect, but it does not perform any actual transformations. Which leads us to correct choice C, enhanced morph feature. Enhanced morph is the most effective method to smoothly transform one logo image into another inside the PowerPoint. This allows for seamless transitions, and it is specifically designed for this purpose. Morph transformation is extremely easy to use. In the first step, you need to add images to the slides. Then you select Selection pane to rename your shapes, and you need to add exclamation marks and then name of the shape. You choose the second image and also rename it. The important notice here is that you need to match both names of both images and start the name with double exclamation mark. In the next step, you select Transition menu and choose Morph. And then you check that everything works correctly. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.